Or good morning, Indo Moon. How are you? So, definitely ready for today's live. Meant to add something else to the board, but I'm sure that we'll get to it at some point or another. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you guys popping on in here, ready to have a meaningful conversation with some information. And I will have to tell you that this is not like what I originally thought I was going to be talking about today. However, today is my granddaughter's ninth birthday. Good morning, Sue, and good morning, Butter's house. Hey, Aline. Hey, Sandy. And as I was writing her birthday post and tagging all of the individuals from the NICU that were involved in her care and all of that, it really made me pause for a minute and think that I wanted to take some time to discuss the executive order that was signed by the president yesterday and talk about the things that this administration has done and said and continues to do and say. Good morning, Doug. That are, I believe, are dangerous to the health and well-being of children, right? So we're going to talk about that today. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Indo Moon. Appreciate that. Um, Good morning, Kimber. Hey, Brandy. Good to see you as well. Appreciate you, by the way. I'm going to try to get there sometime soon. Hey, good morning, Win Dixie. What's up, Onyx? Hey, Conchita. Hey, everybody. How are you? So, folks, if you're joining me anywhere other than TikTok, make sure that you speak when you're in the chat, or I won't be able to see that you are actually there and present. Also, Substack. I don't get to see your chat at all, and I hate that, but I'm very glad that you are here, that you're watching. What's up, Lisa? Hey, Candy Kiss. Hey, Witch. What's up, Ada? How is everybody? Sassy Cinderella, Kimber, good to see you guys. Thanks, Skywriter Jeff. Appreciate that. Um, Good morning, Candy Red. I do want to, I need to make some notes so that I don't forget things because y'all know that I will, in fact, forget things because, yeah, that's the way the brain works, right? The brain has a lot going on. And one moment, uno momento. What's up, Chef Ryan? What's up, Lynn? Palestinian, good to see you, Tech Lady. Give me a second. I need to see just that quick. It went right on my brain. Hey, Marky. Gosh, there was something that I meant to like that. I almost forgot just that quick. What some of the things that I wanted to make sure that I went over. So, um, all right, let me make sure that I have got you up and ready to go. Can I pull this out? Yeah, so we're gonna see what this morning is gonna be like. Hey, Monica, I'm not sure. I don't. To be frank, I don't really care how people do or don't respond to this particular topic. Um, it's an important one, and I actually think I'm going to reach out to a friend of mine who's also a pediatrician. Hey, Jay Nice. I would like to get some pediatricians and specialists on to talk about some of these different things. Maybe I'll even reach out to this other organization. But yeah, so we got to talk this morning. And yeah, so thank you, Sandy. All right, folks. So if you are on the tick of the talk, appreciate you for coming in, doing your daily heart me. Make sure that you go back up and collect your points. Appreciate you for liking, sharing, gifting, whatever you are doing. Even if you're just being here and tapping, I appreciate all the things because you could be anywhere on this here app and you are here with me. So I appreciate that tremendously. And that's what I was doing. I was about to put this over here for my Facebook folks. That's what I was about to do. So, Facebook, what I am doing is I am dropping the link for you so that if you want to join as a guest on the panel, then you are able to do so using the link that I am dropping in the chat below right now in this moment. Yeah, Tech Lady, I'm sure, and as a nurse, I'm sure you have your feelings. Hey, Lupita, Carla, what's up, Taryn? So, yeah, we're gonna. Oh, give me one second. Join the panel as a guest. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Appreciate that. Um, Boom. So that's there. Okay. So so the link to be able to join. So if you want to join this panel and you are not on TikTok, the link to do that is in the chat. And so you're able to do that at any point in time that you want to get in on the conversation. Hey, Cheryl, Grand Rising, Jamie. And we're going to do that. But you know me. So let me just back up and let me level set with you all. Okay. So here's how I got to where I am this morning. So as so today is Bella's birthday. Bella is my granddaughter who is 9 years old today. And for maybe there's some of you all that don't know all the history and all the background, but Bella was born at 26 weeks. She weighed 1 pound, 3 ounces. That's the guesstimate, right? Because the official weight is 1 pound, 4.5 ounces. But that was with all of the tubes and all of the stuff that they had on her because she was a pound, right? And she was born at 26 weeks. And so no matter how you slice it, she weighed a pound and a few ounces. And she spent 91 days in a neonatal intensive care unit. And she is the individual. It's her arrival, her experience, our experience in the NICU, where and all of the things that happened subsequently, right, that really leveled up my awareness in terms of healthcare advocacy, learning exactly how corrupt the healthcare industry is in this country, all of those different types of things, right? And so this morning when I was doing her birthday post and I was tagging like her NICU nurses, her respiratory therapists, those individuals, I started to think about this executive order that was signed yesterday to space out vaccines for children. And I started to think about the rhetoric coming from this administration, from the Department of Health and Human Services, taking 100% Marky, and the things that this administration has done to tear down trust in science and medicine that has taken decades upon decades upon decades to get to the place where we have eradicated some of the most horrific childhood conditions out there, right? And it really made me angry this morning when I stopped to think about it for several reasons. And I felt this a little bit during 2020. So during 2020, when they chose to politicize medicine, when they chose to politicize a global pandemic and make it a right versus left issue, which is just fucking nuts to me. I'll tell you where. So here's where I think that we have gone just like way too far. There used to be a space that we knew better than to politicize, right? There were certain spaces that we just refused to make it about right and left, Republican and Democrat. It was about what's in the best interest in the health and well-being of the country and of people. And we seem to have like just thrown that shit out the window, right? It seems today that there is nothing off limits. I am looking at sitting members of Congress saying that any Muslim that is serving in our country is a Trojan horse, and like the level of outright bigotry, Islamophobia, racism, the outright willingness to diminish experts in science and medicine and put children at risk is crazy. Yeah, Nancy Mace said that, right? Dreamer, I'm not doing Islamophobia with you. I'm just not. I'm not. You can leave. Listen, folks, if somebody else's faith scares you, I don't know what to tell you about who you are, for real. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I am literally I'm going to hold you accountable, and we're going to talk about Christianity as well, right? But so, and listen, I want people to stop saying it's just a distraction. No, the fuck it's not. I want you all to stop saying things like that. It's not a distraction. These people mean what they say. Now, is it bigoted and is it used? They are using it because they desire to win an election, but you make no mistake. It is absolutely white supremacy in action. It's not a distraction. It's not. And so it's really important that we get straight about what that is. So, yeah, I just want us to be very clear about that. But today, one of the reasons why I want to talk about, and we're going to get to the Islamophobia and the bigotry and Nancy Mason, all of that stuff later. I also want to talk about this executive order. Okay. And Barrico Rob, you're going to listen. I'm not doing you all today. I'm not doing trolls and foolishness and nonsense today. I'm not at all. This is too important. So maybe some of you all are more interested in your ego and your bullshit and your rhetoric and your political division. And maybe that's more important to you than children, but it's not more important to me. So I think that children, all children, whether they are the children of Republicans, Democrats, DSA, Independent, Tea Party, Patriot Party, Libertarian Party, your mama Barney Rubble Party, I don't care what party. I believe that all children should have access to safe, quality, affordable health care, and that we should be following the science, the medicine, and the expertise when it comes to taking care of our children. And the fact that we are now following people who are willing to politicize these things in order to win elections, in order to create division, is absolutely astounding to me. PK, you're lying. So join my panel, PK, and I'll go ahead and debunk that fuckery, and then I'm going to mute you and we're going to keep going. So PK, this is your opportunity. You're either going to join the panel or be muted. I'm not doing lies and fuckery in here today. Yeah, no, I already know what the facts are. I don't need to look it up. You don't. You're regurgitating a talking point that somebody told you to post on social media. You literally have no clue what you're talking about. Now, if you want to be educated upon what it is, then get on up. I don't have to mute you. I can do better. I can block you. There you go. Done. As you wish. At your service. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Legend. How are you?
Really good, really good. I wanted to bring a comment. When COVID came in 2020, I went many years without TV and whatever, and I got cable. But anyhow, on cable, on health, because I cured myself of COVID before they shut everything down. Roughly, it's an airborne virus, and I took hydroperoxide and cleaned up.
So give me a second. Hold on a second, Legend. So first, let me just be careful, because what will happen is if you do things like that, you can get my live flagged. Okay. For inaccurate information.
I'm telling the truth.
So listen, I'm telling you what the system will do, and here's what I will also say to you. If you were lucky enough to not have residual impacts or significant health issues when you contracted C19, great. That is your individual singular story. Okay. That is not indicative of what science and medicine and experts and infectious disease specialists have known forever, or the millions of other people that did not have your experience.
There's no such thing as
legend.
Medical degree.
Legend. Listen to what I'm saying. There's absolutely specialists. Okay. There are specialists in infectious disease. They go to school for it. They take courses for it. They study it. They are scientists. It's literally what they do.
Make them any more qualified.
It does make them more qualified. It does. Literally, it makes them more qualified. You're not going out and hiring the cashier to come fix your HVAC. Why? Because they went to school. And so they are an expert in HVAC and they know how to put in your air conditioning and your heating. And so it absolutely makes them more qualified. It does.
I know. I went to school for that.
And so this is the point that I am saying to you, Legend. This is what I'm saying. I think it's incredible and amazing that you had a great experience and you were able to have C19 and not have horrific outcomes. That is not the case for everyone else. And your singular experience does not override.
I was trying to get at a point, though.
Okay, so
on cable, on health, they have nanobites now that they can put into like a needle that they could give you like a shot for curing a lot of things. It's like they said $60,000 to $80,000. Somewhere in that range.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But anyhow, I got thinking about that many months after I seen that episode on health, and I was
what do you mean on health? What is health?
Well, it could cure a lot of things. These antibiotics they could put into.
But what is health? When you say you saw something on health, what is health?
This is like the health channel throughout the world that they should show and give information, like doctors sharing information on the net.
So let me just say this, okay? There's no global like health network, and I'm going to be very clear.
Like a prisoner that cost them too much money, that's over $60,000 or $80,000.
So, Legend,
and the price would come down after a while on nanobites.
Legend, we're not talking about nanobites. Legend,
someone within a year.
We are not talking about nanobites. We're not doing it, sir. We're not doing it.
That's the government.
So no, I'm not doing conspiracy theories. I'm not doing that in this space. I'm not. Listen, Legend, enough. I've already told you, I'm not doing that in this space. There are plenty of other places that can go and talk about nanobites and whatever else you have going on, right? But here's the thing. I do not get my medical information from my HVAC guy. I don't. And so you're not gonna give medical information here. Okay, so like I said, I am very glad that you had your singular experience, right? That does not account for the rest of the world, period. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a lawyer. I had a female lawyer back in the day.
Y'all, I'm not doing that. That's the Lord.
65, but back in their college, she wanted me to go to school to become a doctor for her so she could sue doctors. And I said, if I was want to be that smart, I would do that for myself. I mean, you're just running around in circles on what you're trying to say. And
what am I trying to say? Why don't you tell me? What am I trying to say?
The government hasn't.
Share with me what I'm trying to say.
Need to get rid of someone.
Share with me what it is.
Your church is trying to say that it's the parents' decision.
I haven't mentioned parents.
That's where the government.
Legend, I haven't mentioned parents. So listen, you might want to pay attention. I haven't mentioned parents. So I don't know what you're listening to. I don't know what narrative you have. I don't know what your deal is. But it is 9:29 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Way too early for this shit. I am not doing nanobites and I don't even know what else you're trying to say. So
well, you're lost in the government's thought on long range on controlling.
Sure. Okay. Have a great day.
People.
All right. So listen, folks. Hey, Tim, how are you? So let me just be very clear about the conversation that we are having today. I am not interested in your singular experience because you are one person in a world of 8 billion people. I'm not. I'm not interested in what Joe Schmo told you down the street who came when they came and fixed your toilet. I literally give less than zero fucks. We are going to talk about how dangerous it is to politicize science and medicine. We are going to talk about how dangerous it is to take something as significant as our children and a schedule of vaccinations for our children that has helped eradicate some of the worst diseases in history, right? That's what we're going to talk about. Kenneth, no. I don't know why you think that that's no. And listen, you were on a panel that I joined the other day. I gave information and then I left. And I told the panel that I'm not staying because you are there and I don't share spaces with you, right? When I joined Real's panel, I said to Real, I don't talk to Kenneth. I don't engage with Kenneth. I don't do anything. So I'm coming up to address this and then I'm leaving. And that's exactly what I did. There has been nothing that has changed, Kenneth. No, you will listen to me. You will never join my panel. I don't care if it is Jesus, Allah, Buddha, the Dalai Lama, Thor, Zeus, Athena, Diana, Barney, Rubble, Fred Flintstone. I don't care who is standing here going, Dani, bring Kenneth up. The answer is no. Period. I didn't speak to you on that panel for a reason. I don't talk to you. All right. So very simply, folks, the conversation that we are having today is not what your personal opinion is about medicine or vaccines for children or any of that. That's not what this conversation is about. The conversation is about the politicization, the politicizing of that. We should never be politicizing and manipulating medicine and science to the detriment of people and children for election purposes, for our own agenda, for our own private companies, for our own benefit. And that's the problem. So, like, what I'm not doing here is going to have a debate with you about whether or not you should or shouldn't vaccinate your children. Why am I not going to have that conversation? Because you get to have that conversation with your pediatrician. And hopefully, you'll listen to your pediatrician. Okay? What I will say is that there is no world. And then the other piece of this, if we could flip to the other side of it, it's not just should we be politicizing healthcare, right? And politicizing in a way that is hurtful and harmful to children, right? Not just that, but whatever happened to we don't want big government? Since when should your federal government tell you when to vaccinate your children or if to? If Joe Biden had signed an executive order telling you when to get the jab in C19, y'all would have lost your fucking minds. Right? Whoops. I'm just so literally, right? There was never And this is my thing. Right. I'm just saying. The President of the United States just signed an executive order about spacing out the vaccinations for your children. Why is that? Why would you ever want the federal government dictating to you what you should do with your children, with their medicine? Jay Bunky, I don't know, because I don't know. So it's going to be up to insurance companies, right? Because yeah, we're gonna talk about all of those things. I'm gonna get there. I'm definitely gonna get there. So because there's quite a few of you guys that have requested up. So let me first kind of level set, okay? And let me get to this thing real quick. I actually want. I want it to give me what I want. Give me a second. Okay. That is what I want. And now I want the actual. So I'm someone who wants the actual like EO itself so we can read it. Hey, Amy. All right. So am I the only person who does this? So, so this is the part that just really makes me angry. I'm looking at Bill Cassidy putting out on X, quote, "I'm a doctor. This executive order is wrong. The president does not have the expertise to make these changes. Vaccines are overwhelmingly safe. Vaccines are effective. Vaccines do not cause autism. Breaking up vaccines will mean children will have to get more shots to get the same protection." So here's my thing, Bill Cassidy. You fucking confirmed RFK. Exactly. You confirmed the people that are leading this bullshit. And this is what I'm so tired of. I am tired of seeing these individuals who know fucking better say one thing on social media, but then show up at the job and do something different. So Jay Bunky, it's not that he can force anyone to do it, right? This is the problem. And this is what I want people to understand. There are people that will follow his lead. There are people that will follow his lead. And then guess what happens? Other children will suffer because we will lose the immunity that we have had. We will lose it. So what I was saying before the other individual came up to the panel is that, I experienced a lot of frustration in 2020, right? Hey, Roy, because there were people that were like, well, you don't need it because of this and this and this and this. And I was like, yeah, but you're not the only ones. You're not the only one. Right? And I think about, so I used to be really pissed because I'm like, do you not give a fuck about Bella's lungs? Right? Because like if my granddaughter were to get C19, it would be a completely different experience. What's up, Bernard? Than someone else getting it. And so my point is, what are we doing that we have reached the place where the president and the executive branch is willing to just literally go balls to the wall? Good morning, Sherry. And politicize things that we need. So how many of you, and I know some of you all are up to date. Hey, Rosalind. Hey, Marilyn. How many of you all know the number of measles cases that we have right now in the United States of America? Stop, Titan. No. Titan, you scared yourself, right? Okay, so let me give it to you. Stop, sir. So as of August the 6th, 2026, to the person who said 1,400, no. We are at 2,465 confirmed measles cases were reported in the United States in just 2026. 2,465 confirmed measles cases in the US in just 2026. The measles cases were reported by 47 jurisdictions: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas. You all get it. I'm not doing all 47, but damn near every state. There have been 38 new outbreaks reported in 2026, and 94% of the confirmed cases, 2,309, are associated. Are associated. So listen to this. Listen to the number. 936 were from outbreaks that started in 2026, and 1,373 were from outbreaks that started in 2025. So the outbreaks that started in 2025 are still spreading in 2026, and then we have new outbreaks in 2026. Now, do you really want to be astounded? Because in 2025, do you know what the total for the whole year of 2025 was? For the whole year of 2025, there was 2,289 confirmed measles cases. We have exceeded that number already. We have exceeded the number of measles cases already that we had for the entirety of 2025. And if you want to know where I'm getting the information, this is from the CDC. Now, I want to give you all some information. Are you ready? And then I'll bring some people up to the panel. So, total cases for measles in 2025 was 2,289. In 2026, to date, it is 2,465. The number of cases in children under 5 is 481 this year. The number of measles cases between 5 and 19 years of age is 1,189. And then the number that is 20 plus years of age is 787. So over 1,600 of the 2,400 cases are in minors. Get this, 93% of the folks that have gotten them are either unvaccinated or it's unknown. 3% got 1 MMR dose, 4% got 2. Of the 2,465 cases, 164, which is 7%, have resulted in hospitalization. 10% of the hospitalizations are in children that are 5 and under. Last year, we had 3 deaths from measles. I really would like to know why people are, number one, listening to folks that are not medical experts and not scientists. What type of grip does this party, does this POTUS have over you that you are willing to believe a reality TV star and real estate dude over your pediatrician and the experts? So what they will say is that if you got your measles vaccine, however long ago, you should have your titers checked. because you might need to have it redone. So if you do not, I recommend following the AAP on Facebook. I do. The American Academy of Pediatrics. I follow them. And I'm going to read to you the statement from the American Academy of Pediatrics president. Quote, today's executive order on vaccines is not only disheartening, but dangerous. Instead of ensuring every family can access life-saving vaccines for measles, influenza, RSV, and more, federal leaders are once again spreading misleading claims. It is absolutely wild that what is going on, and why aren't you upset? So I don't get it. Like, I literally am baffled, because you're okay with the federal government, with the president of the United States telling you what you should or shouldn't do in terms of vaccinating your children. However, if Joe Biden had signed an executive order telling you when you had to get the C-19 shot, you all would have lost your fucking minds, right? Why are you okay with big government getting involved in your healthcare and your healthcare decisions with your children? Why are you okay with that? And why are you believing and listening to someone that has absolutely zero expertise, zero medical training, zero science, zero anything? So listen, folks, if you're new to me, I ask for 4 things in this space. I ask you to be respectful, not use slurs, don't spam my comments, don't type in all caps. And as long as you can do those things, we'll be just fine. All right? So here's what's going to happen. When I bring you to the panel, put yourself on mute until I get to you. All right? And then we will be able to have a respectful conversation and an exchange of ideas. Let me just also tell you this. What you will not do is get on my panel and spew conspiracy theories about vaccines. I won't let you do that. I won't let you put out misinformation, and I won't let you get my live flagged. So I'm just going to tell you, we are discussing the politicizing of healthcare, especially when it comes to our children. That's what we're doing. Okay? Checkmate, the answer to your question is no, because children are born and living outside the mother's womb. So no, AB is not dangerous for children. Not at all. All right, folks. Aline, I'm not sure if you meant to request up or not, but I got you. Oops. Sorry, guys. Hold on. It's jumping all around. But we're gonna make it happen. Why isn't this? Okay, TikTok, you keep moving things around. Okay. Okay. Butterfly. Oh, you didn't connect. All right. So Pagel. Good morning, and what's your age for TikTok purposes? Hey, Vanessa.
59.
No worries.
Your menopause gal.
No worries. So what would you like to share this morning?
You know, when medicine and science, right, cannot be in the political realm. Like,
my concerns are numerous with the current administration. When you start removing access to information data, right? So medicine science, we go on statistics. Why are we taking down we're not tracking maternal mortality anymore, right? Also, it's not just about us as an American. Our doctors, our pediatricians, all of our specialists, right? We also look outside of our country. We see, hey, what is France seeing or whatnot? We review current treatment policies, revise them, get better, and go forward. But when you politicize it, it puts all of us in danger, right? Like, I would think as a parent, you would want to have access to all the information. You would want to have peer reviewed information, right? Where it shows you the pros and cons. You should be able to go to several sources and then be able to sit down and have an honest conversation with your provider. I think the other thing people are forgetting about the MMR as adults, like I've had to redo my MMRs twice because as someone with asthma, I periodically have to go on a lot of the steroids. So just be aware of that if you have to periodically go on steroids for like asthma or there's like a lot of skin issues people go on that can sometimes knock your immunity down, which is why titers are fantastic. It'll tell you where you're at so you can make an educated decision. Having a combination vaccine that's been out forever, like an MMR, is kinder, right, to children and to adults that need to redo it because you're getting, I think it's like under 0.5 cc's with like one dose. If you look in the European countries, they're using like hexavalent, where they're doing like 6 at a time. So it's small volume. It's less on the child. But anyway, that was just my thing. Like, you never want to politicize medicine. Any of the stuff that I'm involved in an emergency response, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody's house is on fire, you send the fire department. I don't care if you're red, blue, purple, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. We have to be blind to that. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. And this is my thing. So, and I do know, like, I am cognizant of the fact that, like, because I have a granddaughter that, does have chronic pulmonary disease and was born at, 26 weeks and 1 pound, 8 ounces and is a little bit more susceptible to certain things. So like, I am, I think like she definitely heightened my awareness. Just about, because we got amazing care, and to see the way that politics has entered the realm of healthcare and medicine, not about whether or not people should have access to safe quality healthcare, right? Not whether or not you have access to healthcare is dependent upon your employment, but literally about whether or not you should trust the science and the experts and just like the data. It's crazy. So this is the part that I think, this is one of the things that I think this era that we are in with this POTUS and the individuals behind this movement that we are currently in, one of the most dangerous things I think it has done is sow an incredible amount of distrust and uncertainty in the things that are damn near certain.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. And what I don't understand is, you have a much broader depth. What the political pathway is for this, right? Mm-hmm. To spew nonsense, to spew misinformation that you yourself do not follow. I would tell you all of those people are fully vaccinated.
Yes. Yeah. All of those jokers are full, and so are their fucking children. Correct. So are their children. They are vaccinated, and so are their children.
Right. So why would you push out all of that BS, right? If you yourself are not going to follow your own advice. I always tell people, like, you sit down in front of a provider, you don't feel comfortable with it, heck, you go to like 5 different car dealers before you buy a car. Go get a second and a third opinion. And if it's a medical provider worth their salt, they will encourage you to do so, because you have to be okay with it. But like, let's make it on legitimate best practice of the time, right? And what we know today should be less than what we know next year, right?
Yes.
We're supposed to be getting better. So I really don't care for the most part of what they did 5 years ago. I care about today and where we're going forward, because science and medicine should always be going forward, right? You learn, revise, and then go forward. But I struggle with it.
One of the things that I found that I wish people understood, because it is really easy on the outside looking in to make these judgments about, oh, this is what people should or shouldn't have done. It is. So listen, we are always behind. Let me just say this, you all. We are always behind when it comes to our medical information, because we have to take all of the data. We have to take all of the information. We have to take all of the results, all of the whatever. We are still learning so much about what hit us in 2019, because it was new and we didn't know anything about it, and we didn't know how it was going to show up and what it was going to look like in people. And so it's not just like, it's not, you don't just order a pizza and here's the pizza and you know what the fuck you got. It's not that. And there's all of these different, so like right now, when we look at, just even like the last year or so of medical, we can't give you. So when we put out information for 2026, it's really not for 2026. It's most of the time not even for 2025, except for like statistics, right? Because we don't get all of it until 2024.
Right.
And
it takes time,
yes,
to process all of that data, right? So people need to understand that there's not some magical book on a shelf somewhere that has all the answers. It's, you know what I mean? Like, so like when you look at C19, it's, yes, coronaviruses have been around, but this was a different strain. So for a moment in time, science was allowed to do science. I don't know if people realize that. They took all of the red tape out where they were worried about patents and money. And our CDC here could talk to Louis Pasteur Institute in France, could talk to China, right? So all of these really super smart people got to just sit down and do the work.
Yes.
And it was amazing. Can you imagine if they could do that for cancer and everything else, right? But I think there's a lot of folks that just don't have like a basic understanding, which you clearly do, of how science and medicine works. There's a reason why it's called an art. It's not exact. Like you said, we're going to get better. There's a reason why our life expectancy has grown every year, right? Because we're getting better at it.
There's also a reason that there are other countries whose life expectancy is so much better than ours, because they have a healthcare system that operates different and isn't connected to whether or not people are employed.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Universal healthcare.
Imagine that.
If you do primary care, then we don't have to have as much specialists, because it's caught early when it can be treated.
I'll share this, folks. So like when you say like I have an understanding, it's because I had to get an understanding. And when I say, and this is one of the reasons why, this is one of the reasons why healthcare is such a hot point for me, is, with Bella, when Bella was born, listen, I was minding my business at the house when my daughter was going for like her ultrasound at 26 weeks, right? And we thought we were out of the woods, because we had gotten a result before that said, we might have a marker for Downs. And so we had to do like the extra blood test, the real big one that they send off to somebody. And it came back and said, no, we were okay. Right. And so we were like, oh, so we just thought we were going to finish the rest of the pregnancy. And I literally got this phone call from my daughter that said, hey, Dr. Visconti is saying that, I need to go pack a bag and get ready for the hospital. And I said, when? because the due date was November 11th. This was August 9th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, due November 11th. This was August 9th. And I said, what do you mean when? And she was like, now. And I was like, what do you mean now? For what? For why? And so, 2 days later, Bella was born. We took two big D cell dips, and it was like, no, we gotta make this happen. And she was literally 1 pound and a few ounces. Today's her birthday. She turns 9. And um, long story short, for those of y'all who don't know this about me, um, a year after she was born, I was putting up her 1 year out of the NICU post, right? And tagging all of her nurses. And that happened to be the exact same day that the newly created state sanctioned medical monopoly, the largest of its kind, created by law in the state of Tennessee with antitrust immunity on federal and state levels, right? Announced that they were going to close the NICU that saved her life on the same day that I happened to make that post. And a couple of nurses were like, yeah, maybe not for long. We're not going to be able to give this care. And I was like, what do you mean? And in 5 days, I went on this crash course of understanding the intersections of corruption and healthcare. Oh, dear God in heaven. I had no clue. And then in this fight for healthcare for people, I got to know pediatricians and neonatologists and neurosurgeons and trauma surgeons and forensic psychologists, and so I got a chance to pick their brains about those things and so listen. You want to talk about finding out about NAS rates? Had no clue, but I'm from Northeast Tennessee. You want to know how prevalent and how high our NAS rates were? For those of y'all who don't know what NAS rates are, those are your drug exposed babies, your neonatal abstinence syndrome babies. But it hit me directly as a person, and it's never left because now I understand all of the stuff that goes with it, and I see physicians right now, especially pediatricians, that are just so angry at this administration and the things that they are saying because it is detrimental to children. And I don't understand how there are parents who can't get out of the politics of the left versus right and the Republican versus Democrat to listen to the fucking pediatricians.
Right.
I don't understand.
It's right, because it doesn't make sense. This is like life, right? And I don't know if you're aware, because me and my crew have been fighting for years. Do you know EMS is not an essential service?
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. Your county has to provide a police department, fire department, and sanitation. Ambulance is optional. So it's privately funded. Like when you look at Europe and they have the NHS and all that, right? Yeah. So we're going backwards. Somebody asked about a titer. So if you want to get a titer, they just go and draw a blood sample, and then they can test. It's typically across like what you would get, like your childhood vaccinations, or if there's something running amok in your area, to see if you have an immune response to it. If you don't have a titer, which is a positive response, then they know you need to be boosted for whatever you're not responding to. And what's nice about that is then you're not just going in blindly taking additional vaccines. You're taking what your body
what you need and nothing extra. Yeah. And here's the thing, folks, just so that you are aware, this is something that anybody that works in the healthcare field, if you are a nurse, if you're a physician, if you are working in the hospital in a clinical capacity, you're already doing these things. You're getting your titers checked. Like nurses, they gotta get their flu shot. Some of them, like, it's mandatory. And this was the other thing that got me, was like all of a sudden when they were like, oh, well, it's mandatory for federal employees to get this. And I'm like, and people started arguing about the military, and I was like, do y'all understand that when I joined the army, I didn't get a fucking say so as to what I got stuck with? I literally, they put us in a line. They had us roll up our sleeves on both sides. We walked and they had a little gun and tick tick in both my arms, and I got whatever the fuck they gave me, and I kept on walking. Like, it's never been an option in the military. And the fact that, again, we are allowing them to make this political is wild to me. Do you all not care about the thousands of children and the people that are now sick with diseases that they don't have to be sick from?
Right, it put our national security at risk. Right, we had a couple units go down with the flu.
Yep, with their warrior ethos.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, 100%. No, I mean, I appreciate you. I don't know. So here's what I'm really thinking about doing, and I know that I have at least one pediatrician who will do so. But I really do think that I'm going to try to put together a panel of pediatricians and medical folks to come and do a live or a podcast episode specifically about these things, not about the politics of it, but about the politicizing of our healthcare and why these things are so incredibly important for our children. And folks, listen, it's not just about you and your kid. When you go into, I've done them before, Dark. When your kid goes into school, they're around hundreds of other little germy bodies. And it's not just your kid that matters. It's all of our kids. Either you care about them or you don't.
I think too, what would be helpful for folks too is if they understand like some of the basic mechanics, like the ASEF board, how people were elected into that. Like these were like scientists and medical professionals, like very well qualified, that were put into those positions. So I think if they understand a little bit how the process works, because everybody kind of wants to slide off into it. It's Pfizer wanting to make money. Nope. These people have nothing to do with private pharmaceutical companies, right?
Right.
To maybe give them that to help combat the misinformation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, yeah. No, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining and chiming in. James, good morning, and how are you?
Good. This conversation is. I'm really glad you're having this. It's really important for people to hear you and have more thoughts about this issue. Well, first of all, I'd like to give shout out to Dr. Fauci. I think what he did back in the 80s and the 90s, 2000s, he has done a great job. And for me, I'm not a parent, so I don't have any kids. I'm always listening to the experts, to the doctors, because they know what they're doing. They went to school for it for a long time. So I mean, I don't really have that much to say, but I'm just glad that you here able to educate people. Me, might not know everything about medicine because I really don't. And I just hope that the parents out there, get your kids vaccinated if you can. You shouldn't listen to Joe Rogan, to RFK, to Trump. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. So for me, I'm always going to listen to the expert. And that's what I go by in life. So thank you again. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Appreciate you. Thanks, James. Yeah. And Pedro, let me know. I'm happy to drop you down, or if you want to stay up to chime in every now and again with medical stuff, you feel free to do that.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, Tara, I can only imagine. So Tara says that her kid can't get vaccinated because he's immunocompromised. And so she worries all the time, and I can only imagine 100%. So yeah, I've already explained, I'm not doing, listen, you will not sit up in here and tell nobody to take no fucking horse medicine in my live. You won't do it. That's why you are now blocked. Listen, I don't know any of, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a thank you. It's destroyed so many people's kidneys.
Yeah.
And there's so many people already on a wait list for a kidney transplant. Like, let's not self-induce it, right?
Yeah, I'm just not doing that, folks. So it's like the other guy that came up here a minute ago and said, well, I was able to cure myself of COVID. That's what he said. And this is my thing. Listen, if you happen if you had C19 and you didn't suffer significant ramifications and all of that, and you ended up being okay, that is, I think that's great for you. I also am not basing the entire world's population off of your singular treatment, because you are not everyone else and everyone else is not you. And it's just asinine and selfish to think that way, period. And the other thing that I don't think that people understand is the complexities that come along with medicine. It's one of the reasons. So let me tell y'all, if you all are being honest, when you're in here with me, some of y'all will say, "Oh, the president has dementia," or "the president has frontal lobe, whatever, whatever." What do I always tell y'all? What do I tell all of y'all? Stop trying to diagnose that man. You're not his physician. And there are too many things that share the same symptoms for me to be trying to label somebody. Stop it. Stop it. I mean, this is why some of you all Google something and think you're dying, and you just need to take a poop, because there are too many things that share similar symptoms. There's too many variances in your body. Just guys, seriously, y'all know you do. You Google something, and next thing you know, you think you're damn dying, and all it is you got a shit. But I'm just saying, it's so, like, just a symptom doesn't mean necessarily what you think it means. Too many things share the same symptoms. Too many things. This is why people go to school for 7 years. This is why people go to continuing education. This is why people specialize in different fields. This is why. Right? So, like, I don't know any other way to say this. And so for me, this is why there's two sides of this for me. Number one, it's just the absolute distrust in the science and the medicine, right? That is just horrific. And then two, it's making it political. And I'm really upset with us as human beings that we are allowing ourselves to politicize medicine and whether or not our children get vaccinated. It is crazy to me that we have gotten to this place where even this is about whether you are Republican or Democrat in some people's minds. That's crazy to me. Nobody is, when you check into the hospital, name a time when anybody has asked you your political affiliation. Never. Before you pick up your prescription, the pharmacist doesn't go, "Well, this works for Republicans, but not for Democrats." What the fuck, y'all? I'm just saying. So what are you talking about? Address the fact that this vax situation is due to COVID vax. I don't know what you mean. Because no, it's not. RFK Jr. has been anti-vax for a shit long time.
That's how he made his money.
Correct. And that's how his friends are making their money today. Yeah, so, Maria, if you want to talk about it, you're welcome to join the panel. There was no mandate for the COVID vax. That's just simply not true. The federal government did not make you go out and get a vaccine. No, they did not. It's not true. I don't know what's wrong with you all. And that was their employer's choice. That was their employer's choice, not the federal government's. And I don't know what's wrong with you all. So listen, There was no mandate that you had to. So let me just tell you something. If you walk into your job, let me just be clear. If you walk into your job and there is a requirement to do the work at your job, right? And you do not do the thing that your job requires, then you lose your job. It's always been that way. You have a choice, beloved. Your job didn't make you, right? You could just get a different job. And it would be the same thing if your job said, oh, well, we're downsizing, we're getting rid of this position, we're moving you to this position, right? This is for this job, you now have to wear these shoes or these boots or these jeans. You can either choose to do it or you get a different job. That's different. There's nothing. That's it. And restaurants, let me just be clear, restaurants, again, are private businesses. And if that private business says your ass ain't coming in here without a mask, that's up to that private business. There were plenty of businesses that didn't require them.
Restaurants also sometimes make you wear a shirt and shoes.
Correct. Yeah, so no, I'm not clear with my, so listen, of course I'm clear with my opinion. I'm also clear with the facts. And the facts are there was no mandatory jab. That was not a thing for civilians. Nobody made you have to get a shot. Now, your job may have required it, and that is a private business making their business decisions for what's in their best interest. Period. The same way they might make you wear steel toe shoes. Show me that statistic, truth seeker. Show me where it says 90% of jobs made it. Show me that. Give me a source, because I don't think you can. Folks, when I bring you to the panel, put yourself on mute until I get to you. Candy Kiss, did you mean to request up? Yeah, Amelia, why don't you get out of my chat and come to the panel? Candy, did you mean to request up? That's enough. Appreciate you, Butter's house. No worries, Candy Kiss, you're good. So, listen, this is not difficult to understand. And I am not arguing with you about what you choose to do. I don't care. I mean, I do, but I actually respect your right to decide your health care for yourself between you and your physician. See how that works? What I do have a problem with is the president of the United States and this administration putting out information and advice that literally goes against the science. It goes against the data. It goes against the experts. It is intentionally the opposite of what we know we should be doing. Period. And let's just be clear, folks. For the folks that are upset about, well, things were mandatory during C-19 in hospitals. Exactly. But guess what else? They already have mandatory things. Same thing in the military. When my ass got deployed to Korea, they didn't ask me what I did and didn't want to get vaccinated for. They didn't ask me. There was no like, oh, I think I want this one. I think I don't want that one. It was, girl, roll your sleeves up. When you are there are certain jobs, there are certain careers that you know that you are mandated to do things and that what you do, but that did not happen to the rest of the country. And the fact that you are playing victim is wild to me. And at the same time, while this is happening, it's like your head is in the sand and you don't understand that we have had more measles cases this year than we had all of last year already. Yeah, so if you weren't in here when I gave you the numbers earlier, I'm going to give them to you again. And this is just for measles, okay? In 2025, for the entire year, we had 2,289 cases of the flu. So far to date, we are now at 2,465 cases. And I am reading this from the CDC's website. So from the federal government, okay? The ages of the people that have been affected, of the 2,400, this is measles, Ollie Bear, measles. Of the 2,465 cases of measles that we've had so far this year, we've had 481 of them, so 20% are in children 5 and under. 20%, so 1 in 5. 48% of them are in individuals ages 5 to 19. And then the other 32% are 20 and above. And get this, 93% of the people are either unvaccinated or their status is unknown. The people that got both doses make up only 4% of cases. No, it's not in certain areas. It's in 47 of our damn states. No, it's in 47 jurisdictions now. Last year, it was in 45 jurisdictions. It's in 47 states, y'all. And what's crazy is 94% of the cases are outbreak associated. We've got 38 new outbreaks reported in 2026. But so 936 are from outbreaks starting in 2026, and 1,373 are from outbreaks that started in 2025. And yes, we had 3 deaths last year from measles. Sure did. So it's not me showing it. This is the CDC page. They just have a comparison for that. So they have a chart that I can show you. So to give you an idea, let me see if I can find this really quickly. Okay, so this is a great thing to show, just to kind of give you guys an idea. So this is what measles looks like in the United States of America in 2024. Okay, this is in 2025, and this is in 2026. I'm going to do that again so you can see it. 2024, 2025, 2026. In case the colors aren't enough for you, we are going in the wrong direction. And it is our children that are suffering. That's the part that makes me the angriest. Like, here's the thing. If y'all are grown-ass adults and you don't want to do it for you, then you know what? Whatever. But the fact of the matter is that we are hurting our children. And I don't know why you all are okay with these 2 ridiculous ass men with no medical training telling you what you should do for your children. And it's not rooted in science, and it's not based on fact. Somebody commented on Facebook yesterday and said, I'm not trusting the government with no vaccine. I said, your ass is not trusting the fucking government with the vaccines. Are you crazy? You are trusting the science. You are trusting the medical experts. You are trusting decades upon decades upon decades, where this thing used to really kill people all the time, and we get to live in a world where it doesn't. And it's wild to me because you all are busy talking about, oh, it's the physicians and it's the medicine makers that it's the, oh, it's only about money for them. Meanwhile, all of these folks are making a shit ton of money off of you. All of these unregulated, unverified, daggone health and wellness companies got you taking every kind of herbal supplement known to man. Not a bit of it proven to do whatever. And y'all just out here willy-nilly. And I want to address something that people said. Some people are like, what's the end game? Fuck if I know. But here's what I will say is we have a POTUS. We have a president that believes in eugenics. Y'all know that, right? He has said that. He believes that there are people with superior genes. And so he believes those people will rise to the top. And he's okay with what the people that he considers to be subpar human beings phasing themselves out. So I'm just telling you. But he's always talked about eugenics his entire life. I just want to know, where are the mama bears? Because you're not protecting your kiddos. Where are you?
Maybe it's a time to talk with some of the polio survivors. I mean, we're going to lose them soon, right? Because we did a good job in eradicating it, but maybe that's part of it too, right? Because we fix things and it's been relatively stable. They forget what our grandparents had to go through.
I see that in so many ways right now. So not only do I see that from like a polio and measles perspective, but I see that in our social issues, right? The intense level of bigotry and sexism that we have been experiencing for the last 10 years is something that it was missing for a while. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like racism went away or whatever, right? But it wasn't mainstream anymore. After the 60s, right? It just wasn't mainstream. It wasn't okay. It's why they needed the Southern strategy. And I think that we are at this place right now because we forgot how much work we had to do to get to where we were. In those years, those 80s and those 90s years, I think that people have forgotten, in the absence of the suffering, people forgot what it took to get where we were. And so I think that this is now coming down to, because I say this and I'm going to say it again, you all, these folks have a particular type of society that they desire to create. And everyone should be clear about what type of society that is. I'm going to say it again. They have a particular society that they desire to create. with a particular group of people and a particular type of people sitting at the top. And if you do not fit into that particular demographic, they are perfectly okay with whatever amount of pain and suffering you endure, whether it is to your final demise or not. And so, and here's my thing. They want their world bad enough. I want you all to think about how badly they must want this world that they have thought about. They want it enough to get coalitions of 50 different organizations and write a playbook that is over 900 and some odd pages, and to for more than half a fucking century continue to chip away at democracy and at the Constitution and at the three separate but equal branches of government, right? They have backed up 20 and punted, and then they have come back, right? So the question that I have for everyone else that doesn't fall into that category is, how badly do you desire the world that you want us to live in? And what are you doing to bring it to fruition? Because that's what it boils down to. And not only are they fighting for the thing that they so desperately want, they are also fighting for their fucking lives, because they understand that a progressive majority in the House and the Senate is a wrap for many of them. It is a wrap. It is jail. It is jail. And they are fighting for their lives. The question is, are you? Just saying. Oh yeah, Bannon said it. Thanks, Scotty, for the reminder. I'm tired, y'all. I worked on Project for the People stuff until almost 1:30 this morning, and then of course got up and got everybody off to school and whatever. So, and I'm out of Red Bull. So there you go. There's that, which is probably good because I don't need it. How many of you guys were in here yesterday when I talked about our healthcare system? And so I got to healthcare kind of in a weird way. Yeah, you're welcome, Peggy. So yesterday, people keep talking about, the DSA wants to abolish the Senate, and that's all people are saying. And this is again where I have an issue with the way that people do messaging. So what they desire is to have a unicameral legislature, right? Yeah, I am righteous. And so, but the thing to know about that is when you have one legislative body instead of two, it's typically smaller than what we have now. And 60% of the world's national parliaments operate this way. So what the DSA would desire to happen, which by the way requires a constitutional amendment and is probably 25 to 50 fucking years from now. But the point is that the thing that they are claiming is not so radical, because it's actually being done all around the world already. And some of the countries that are well known for having this type of government are, hold on one second, I'll make sure I have the right, are Sweden, New Zealand, Denmark, Portugal, Ukraine, Israel, Turkey, right? There's plenty of places out there that already have this type of government, right? Now, here's the thing that's really important about this type of thing is you might say, well, okay, but is it effective? Is it whatever? So what I started to do is I wanted to look at what are the healthcare outcomes for other countries compared to us, because we talk about in the United States of America being the greatest nation in the world all the time. But are we? Are we? And how much do you know about how we rank healthcare wise? So yesterday, one of the things that I shared with people is this little graphic right here. Are you ready? No, but we could be. Not you quoting the newsroom. Such a great show. Anyway, okay, so let me just kind of give you this breakdown. I'm going to give you the healthcare expenditure per capita and the average life expectancy at birth. You ready? In Canada, the current health expenditure per capita is $5,105 in Canada, with a life expectancy at birth of 82 years. In Japan, it's $4,463 with a life expectancy of 84 and a half years. In the Netherlands, it's $5,340,000 and a life expectancy of 82 years. In the United Kingdom, it is $4,268 and a life expectancy of 81 years. In the United States of America, the health expenditure per capita is $10,658. So double every fucking body else, with a life expectancy of 78 years. So we spend the most per capita and we have the shortest life expectancy. Do you think that it might be wise to look at what other people are doing? I just want to offer that as a suggestion, because if you see people that are able to get better results and spend half of what you do, could you fathom that maybe they have a better system than we do? Right? Why would you? I don't know if I added this link in there or not, but I can. Right? So listen, there's more. I pulled up, y'all know me, I pulled up several sources. And so I pulled up US News and World Report, which, but whatever. And then I also pulled up Numbeo, where they do a healthcare index by country, and they actually do it like 2026 mid-year. And I can tell you kind of how they go about doing it. But so here's what they do. They do a healthcare index by country. They do a quality of life index by country. They do a cost of living index by country, a crime index by country, a pollution index by country, property prices indexes by country, and traffic index by country. Okay. And so there's like, you can actually learn about like what the table is and how they do it and how they collect the data. But just to give you an idea, so let me give you the healthcare, and I don't want to go too deep in it. Appreciate you. I'm perfect. But so it's really, really wild to see kind of the perception. So let me give it to you. The data in this section is derived from surveys answered by website visitors, structured similarly to established scientific and governmental surveys. Individual responses are assigned a numerical value between -2, which is a strongly negative perception, and a +2, which is a strongly positive perception. To maintain data accuracy, we employ spam filtering algorithms that exclude inputs from users exhibiting suspicious behavior. Survey results are then scaled from 0 to 100 for easier interpretation and comparison. And so our current index, updated continuously, is compiled from data within the last 5 years. So they select cities for inclusion in the index based on a minimum number of contributors to ensure statistical significance. And then their semi-annual index is calculated twice a year by incorporating the latest data into the historical view, right? So the healthcare index estimates the overall quality of a healthcare system by evaluating key factors such as medical professionals, equipment, staff, doctors, and costs. It provides an assessment of the healthcare infrastructure, services, and resources available in a specific location, right? So I'm just going to give you the top. So the top country based on this particular survey or whatever is Taiwan, right? And their healthcare index is 87. Rounding out the top 10 are Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, Ecuador, Netherlands, Thailand, Austria, Finland, France, Spain, and then Belgium is 11, right? Norway is 15. I'm just going to pop a few in here. Israel is 18. UK is 19. Mexico is 20. Anybody want to take a stab at a guess at where the United States of America falls on this index? Anybody? Bueller? 41. 41 out of 101. So the index, the countries above us, the Philippines, Guatemala, Argentina, Sweden, New Zealand, Canada, Iceland, Switzerland, Colombia, China, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, the UAE, Germany, Turkey, Australia, all of those are listed above us. And if you go to U.S. News and World Report, let's just go over to a different one, right? The number one country listed there is Iceland, then Norway, then Denmark. Those are the top three. Then Switzerland, then Japan, then Australia, South Korea, Singapore, Sweden, and Israel. Those are the top 10 best countries overall in health. Top 10, according to U.S. News and World Report. France is 11. Germany is 12. Anybody want to guess where we fall according to U.S. News and World Report? Anybody want to guess? 33. We are 33 in health. We are 33 in health, according to U.S. News and World Report. Directly above us in the 32nd position is Kuwait. Above Kuwait is Cyprus. Qatar is 30. The Czech Republic is 29th. The UAE is 28th. Slovenia is 26th. Greece is 25th. And also, according to U.S. News and World Report, we're ranked 18th for the best countries overall. So even according to us, we're not the fucking best. And I'm laughing, even though it's not funny. It's because you got to be fucking kidding me. I really do want to know, especially from people that maybe don't agree with me on things. Do you all want to be better than what we are? Like, what do you want us to be? What do you want us to be? What kind of country do you want us to be? Because, like, for me, I don't need you to believe what I believe, and I don't need to believe what you believe in order to respect your right to believe it. Nor do I need to limit what you're allowed to believe or what you're allowed to practice or what you're allowed to do unless it infringes upon the rights and the liberties of someone else. Right? How did your opinion of how somebody else loves, how somebody else identifies themselves, how did that become more important than our healthcare systems, more important than public education, more important than housing, more important than taking care of our elderly and our elders? How somebody else chooses to identify themselves, how they piss or don't piss, how did that become more important than getting access to safe, quality, affordable health care? And tell me, how did the richest of the rich, the elite, the corporations who sit in their corner offices, how did they become more important than your children? See, Tina, I don't even ask that question because it's easy to put people above yourself, right? People do. Listen, that's how we end up staying in shitty relationships, right? People stay in shitty relationships all the time. So that doesn't get me. It's appreciate it, the action. Righteous Giggle says capitalism. So can I say that I don't want to just blame capitalism? Because so here's this is my honest take, you all. It is not just the system. Okay? It's not just the system. So the same way, so listen, do y'all remember hearing your grandmother or your great grandmother talk about like when TV first became a thing and all of a sudden you could see Elvis gyrating his hips on the TV and it was just sinful, and that TV was the devil and the TV was the problem because the TV was spreading the things. And now people want to blame social media. People want to blame video games. People want to blame music. People want to blame our systems. People want to blame all of the things. But here's my thing. It's us. The common denominator in all of those things is us. It is we, the people. We are the fucking problem. Because guess what? I don't care what those things can't do any harm unless we make them do harm. It is up to us. You want to know what is wrong? People are like, what's this world coming to? Whatever we make it. So what are you making it? And what excuses are you making for people that are doing damage? And why are you making excuses? I really do want to know that. If you support this administration, if you support signing an executive order that is not only not based in science and medicine, but is in the opposite direction of what science and medicine says to do, I want to know what the fuck you're thinking. Really, I do. Because I don't get it. And I want to know what is the underlying thing that has you in such a chokehold that you are willing to jeopardize the lives of your friends and your family and your children for a fucking political party or a political agenda. The EO yesterday that he signed is to space out childhood shots. Deuce is wild. So, Joe, nobody said anything about sinners. Nobody said anything about sinning. No. So let me just be clear. So one of the things that I'm not doing, okay, is what I am not doing is applying a particular religion to this conversation or any religion to this conversation. This is not about God. This is about what kind of human being do you want to be? That's it. It's just that simple. It's not about sinning or not sinning. It's not about any of that. It's literally about what kind of human being do you want to be? So Vanessa, I can't because the science and the data says no. It actually causes more harm. There's a reason why we do them this way, and there's a reason it took this long to figure out how we do them. It will actually require children to get more shots and leave them more vulnerable. I'm tired. Listen, let me just say something. Number one, I do not believe that parents should be making children's decisions for education because some of y'all are not smart. Listen, there's a reason I listen to professors and I listen to teachers because I'm not an educator. Okay? There's a reason. When people say, oh, well, parents should have the option. No, parents shouldn't always have the fucking option. No. Oh, well, we want parents to be able to decide curriculum. No, the fuck I don't. If I want my children to be better than I am, if I want them to achieve more, then they have to learn from somebody who knows fucking more than I do. There's a reason that we go into fields to become experts. There are reasons. Appreciate you, Veronica. Morning, Bobby. It's just crazy work to me. And it's this entitled bullshit. Well, parents, you should be able to do A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Really? Yeah, I mean, I know people that homeschool as well. But there's a reason that you're not in a classroom. There's a reason that you're not a teacher. Irene, good morning. How are you? Irene, did you mean to request that?
No.
Okay, no worries.
No.
I got you. No problem. So this is my thing, folks. Probably the most powerful thing that you can do in your life is to get doctors and physicians that you trust. Because you don't have all the answers and you don't know because you're not an expert and you're not a physician. Right? So, I'll share with you all something that transpired. Well, give me a second. Good morning, gods.
Good morning. I just want to know, how do you think that the president is bad for children? The Democrats had us, the kids, the school systems, number 40 out of 40. We were dead last. They're bringing in drag queens to the school, all type of porn in the books, taking God out, no prayer, no nothing. Anything is allowed. They're allowing hormone pills, surgeries, everything. Come on.
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question. Hold on, I'm going to answer your question. Nope, because you've said a lot already. Stop for a moment. We're going to pause. Because I told you, I don't let people sit up here and just spew misinformation for 3 minutes at a time. Guys, stop and don't interrupt me. Listen, if you are being disrespectful, I will boot your fucking ass right now.
You can do it.
I will.
I don't care.
I will. Bye. I ain't got no time. I am not. Listen, if you are a grown ass man that cannot shut the fuck up and have a respectful conversation, you will not stay on my panel. You are the reason we pick the bear. You are the reason the birth rate is in decline. You are the reason this is the reason there is a male loneliness epidemic because of that shit right there. Put that motherfucker on a billboard. That is the reason. That is the example. No one has time for that bullshit. 40 last out of we were last 40 out of 40 in fucking what? Because there's more than fucking 40 countries in the world. There's more than fucking 40 states. 40 out of what? So let me just say this. Today will not be the loving, hold your hand, walk you through your bullshit Dani today. That will not be me today. Especially not on this issue. Especially not on this issue. I won't do it. It's too serious. People literally die as a result. These things cause harm, like real harm to real people. Thanks, Butters. I'm just saying, so like real talk, folks, let me be very, very clear. Whenever someone wants to have a conversation with you about healthcare or anything else, and the conversation goes like this, well, the Democrats do this, and the right does this, and the left does this. Listen, that's not a real conversation about the issue. That is some partisan bullshit that is most likely not going to be rooted in facts. I'm not having conversations, oh, the Democrats did da 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 da. I'm not doing that. It's not a fact-based conversation. Appreciate you, Linda. Let me just be very clear about something, folks. There are no doctors. Hear me when I say this. There are not doctors just willy-nilly passing out all kinds of hormones to young children and minors. The vast majority of trans individuals never ever fucking transition because not only is the process lengthy as hell, not only does it take years of therapy and multiple teams of people getting involved, but it's expensive as fuck. It's not something that is happening. And if you have an issue with gender affirming care, then I want to know why the fastest growing segment in plastic surgery is men getting rid of their moobs. Men, you getting rid of your moobs. Why is that the fastest growing segment of plastic surgery, but you don't like gender affirming care? Did y'all know that? You don't want gender affirming care, but you're going to go fix your low T ass, aren't you? Yep, you want to fix your low T ass, don't you? But you don't like gender affirming care. That shit starts looking like a string of cooked spaghetti and you ready for a penile pump, aren't you? Just like a BMX bike. Yep, you're ready for a penile pump, just like that. But you don't believe in gender affirming care. So tired of y'all. Appreciate you, tech lady. I'm just saying. I'm over it. I am over this ridiculous, toxic, nasty ass masculinity. I'm sick of it. And then you don't realize that all the things that you're saying and doing are the very reason we do not want to fuck with you no more. Real talk. I got a text from an ex yesterday, my last ex, that said, I want you back. And my text back was, you had me. His text was, still do. My text response was, you haven't been replaced. Like, I haven't put anybody in your spot, but that's not the same thing as having me. That's not the same thing. Nope. Just because I haven't put anybody in your spot is not the same thing as you still having me. Absolutely not. Nope. Go to therapy first. Fix all your shit. I'm just saying. Y'all, I know you're not request. Why are you in my request box? Why are you in my request box, Gods? You can't be respectful. Why would I bring you back up on my panel with your disrespectful ass? You must be crazy. That's like somebody coming in your house, wiping their muddy feet on your fucking rug, spitting on your kitchen counter, and you kick them out, and then they knock on your door again. Why would I let you back in? No. Absolutely not. Y'all crazy. Absolutely not. Yo, we have an issue with the leadership of this country, and it is impacting us in the most horrific of ways. And on so many fronts, it is absolutely devastating the most vulnerable of us. Nope, vetted vet, not exaggerate much. Why don't you come up here and we can talk about it? You're welcome, Kat. Hey, Renee. I think I've just gotten to this place, especially today, where I want to have a conversation, but I'm only going to have like a real conversation, and we're going to call a thing a thing. Y'all gonna stop walking around here acting like you don't see what is happening in front of your face. Stop acting like you don't see them trying to So actually, Vanessa, so yeah, we were talking about vaccines, but that's not even like the real topic. The topic was the things that this administration that is doing that is dangerous to children, right? And so yeah, part of that is the executive order yesterday, right? Do you know what another part of that is? Farming out half of the work for the Department of Education and sending it to the Department of Labor. If you do not understand that moving issues from the Department of Education to the Department of Labor is going to be dangerous for your children, I don't know what to say to you. Vetted vet, ain't nobody talking to you until you get on my panel. Listen, my chat's not going to respond to you. I'm not going to respond to you. This is the last thing that I'm going to say to you. You will either join the panel or you will not get answered. And do you know what I find alarming? Is that people will automatically start to say things like, when I'm talking about the measles cases, they'll say, oh, well, did anybody die? Do y'all know that like it's not just about did anybody die? Can we talk about whether anybody suffered? Can we talk about children that are having to be hospitalized? Can we talk about like the trauma and the hurt and the pain that they endure? Can we talk about their absence from school? Can we talk about the parents' absence from work? Can we talk about like just the impact on the family as a whole? What happens when a kid has to be in the hospital? Who's taking care of the other babies at home? Which parent is able to go to work and which one's not able to go to work? Who's paying the bills when they can't go to work because the kid is in the hospital? Y'all act like this shit doesn't have like ripple effects. Of course it does. You are correct. It's not your problem. And now you are not my problem. See that? Blocked. Boom. Just like that. Doo-doo. Right, Carla, and the folks that are in one parent households. So, folks, listen, when I bring you up to this panel, put yourself on mute until I get to you. Okay? Then we will have a conversation respectfully. What's up, Petal? Keep in mind, I asked for 4 things in this space. Number 1, be respectful. Number 2, don't use slurs. Number 3, don't spam my comments. And number 4, do not type in all caps because it's reserved for my folks that are vision impaired and my folks that are my moderators. Ebony, that's not accurate. Ebony, that's not accurate. 34 people have not died from measles this year. That's not accurate. I literally was just on the CDC website with the data. That's not accurate. Carrie Ann, you are incorrect. But let's talk about it. I would love to have that conversation. You're the 3rd person to come into my live today quoting that exact same thing. I don't know. Oh, I don't know how that happened. That was weird. So, Carrie, you're the 3rd person to come in my room quoting that exact same thing today. So, let's talk about it. You want to know, you asked me a question about children and immigration. Come to the panel and let's talk about it. Yep, that's today's script. Come on, Carrie. Because I can answer your questions. I would hazard a guess that you probably cannot answer mine. Yep, they got their scripts every morning. She's literally the 3rd or 4th person to come in here with the exact same line about missing children under Biden and Trump finding them, which is such horseshit. But come on with it. Let's talk. You left your team huddle this morning. Yes, Scotty, that's the 350,000. Yes. Yep. You left your team huddle. You got your marching orders. Hey, Ronald, right? Yeah, they really do have a script. So if you all haven't listened to Elon Musk's baby mama, the one that done went around and talked to everybody, she literally will tell you that they literally would get it. They're in signal chats together, and they give them their talking points, and then they run out into the little TikTok, Twitter universe and regurgitate those talking points. That's what they do. But you notice Carrie's ass didn't join this panel when I invited her. Okie, according to Elon Musk's baby mama, yes, they do get paid, according to her. Bob, good morning. How are you? Oh, well, Bob was gone just that quick. It is right. It was 3 in the United States of America in 2025. Correct. No worries, Sabina. Lucy Lou, did you mean to request up? Lucy, did you mean to request up?
I did. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am very well. I am closer to 60 than I am 50. I'm from Texas. And what else did you want me to answer?
That's enough.
Okay. I just want to say this. Even though it shouldn't be political, it is. I think for the party that is advocating for this, it's about picking up and securing subgroups of voters, because there are people who can know the world is going all to HE double hockey sticks in a handbasket, and their one thing that they're going to say is, I didn't let them make me jab my kid. And that's the only thing that they're holding on to. They're just picking up and reaffirming subgroups of ballotters. I think that Padgel made some very good points, and no matter how much science you show them, no matter how many studies that you show them, no matter how much the science is on your side, their whole thing is, I'm not doing this to my kid, and you can't make me. And more or less, you can't make me is more important than the health of their child.
The problem is that this administration is actually saying they're making you. So this executive order is, so this is the president saying, space out your child's vaccines, right? So it's interesting that it's the, oh, you can't make me vaccinate my kids, but this isn't even about that. This is about spreading them out. And so I think for me, what they are doing 100% is, and this is one of the reasons why they brought, so if you all think that it's coincidence that the stuff with Fauci has come up at the same time that they're going to do this vaccine executive order and all of that, yeah, you're mistaken. No, they mean to connect the dots. They mean to try to correlate together. They mean to make a point of it. But the reality is, so, and this is my point, is that it is causing harm. And the conversation that I want to have with people is, in what world did you decide that a real estate a real estate reality TV star knows more than your fucking pediatrician? Help me understand. Or the dude that snorted sugar booger off the toilet seat. When did either of these two possess the expertise and knowledge to know more than your pediatrician?
Well, I would say they have an excellent machine at spreading enough misinformation, along with empowering the people to believe and to work in the system of that misinformation that they give out and the rhetoric that they spew. Like you said, they have people that they set up talking points for this, which means that when somebody says this, oh, the talking point says I'm supposed to say that. They don't really care about even looking at the studies for themselves. It's just that they want to feel like they're the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, well, all right, see you later, Vanessa. Yeah, I think, right, exactly like you said, Pagel, until it affects them. And then when it affects them, then they'll want everybody to care all of a sudden. And that's the other thing, right? So I think for me, the question is, so what happens on this side of the world? So how many of you, let me ask you this question. How many of you all know somebody that is an anti-vaxxer or someone that supports this type of measure being taken by this administration? Put a 1 in the chat. Holy fuck. So wait, let me ask again. Let me ask a clarifying question because y'all about to scare me. Ooh. Okay, let me ask a clarifying question. How many of you know anti-vaxxers that are against like all the vaccines and not just C-19, right? So how many of you, if it's outside of just C-19, you know both? Okay, so do you talk to those people? I am just absolutely flabbergasted. So do you talk to those people about, right, Cam? Negative. You've tried, sort of, not much anymore. Nope, they absolutely don't want to listen. So, well, Judy Grayson, not at all. Not all. Okay. So, okay. This is really, okay. But that's about the C-19 one, Ronald, right? So listen, so do you think that it's possible? Do you think that it's possible to have a conversation around the science and the medicine and separate the C-19 vaccine from the rest of them? Do you think it's possible that we might be able to separate them and make distinctions between measles and rubella and all the other things and be able to make headway in that conversation? Because here's the reason why I'm saying this. So follow me. The reason why I'm asking this question is because the C-19 vaccine is a new thing that we've never had or experienced and don't have enough information to say anything, I guess, definitive, whatever, right? But when it comes to the others, right? We legitimately, so let me just say this. So Steph, I saw what you said. She said C-19 made them question all of them. No, C-19 is not what made them question all of them. Make no mistake, it was POTUS and POTUS's administration.
Absolutely.
It was, listen, it was not, if our leadership had put political grievances behind them and said, I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the country, right? Then they would have simply said, this is the best thing. This is what we trust. Look at me get mine. Like, okay, so listen, I'm not anybody famous. I don't have a fucking million followers. I don't, whatever. But do you know what I did? Literally, because I do know that there are people who do follow me that respect my opinion. When I went and got mine, I literally rolled up my sleeve, turned on my camera, and videoed it and posted it, right? For whatever influence that could or couldn't have had, right? I just wanted people to know, because so here's my thing. Like, I am somebody that is skeptical of our government, right? I don't trust our government. I do trust science, though. And do you know how that? Okay, so let me just share this with y'all. I'm gonna let you into the brain for just a second. So I'm gonna share with you how those two things showed up in real life in real time for me. So I have a significant distrust of our government for very valid reasons. I also believe in science and data and facts. Okay, and then you have C19. So do you know what I did? I looked at all three vaccines. Okay. And here's what I knew. I knew that Johnson and Johnson, I didn't want, because number one, they don't have a great track record with women, period. Like fuck Johnson and Johnson. I don't trust y'all for shit. No way. So they was out automatically for me. Okay. The second one though, Moderna. Here's what I knew about Moderna is that the government had actually worked with Moderna, and they were part of the research and the development for that particular shot. Pfizer, on the other hand, did all of theirs independent. So guess which one I got? I got Pfizer.
You know what's funny? Like when I was trying to make the decision, girl, I did the same thing.
Yep.
I read all up about Caitlin Katero. Like, if you ever get a chance, this woman like devoted her entire life through a lot of adversity. Forget about being a woman in science. And she was the first one to take it too. So talk about standing by your lifetime of research.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's my thing. But so even for me, it was, what do I want to put in me? And how far away from the government. So it was finding that middle ground that worked, but it was still trusting the science and the data. I didn't want shit that the government helped do. I'm just saying. And I just, I just wonder how we got to this place where we have allowed it to become okay to politicize medicine and science, right? I don't get it. Yeah, just saying. Give me 1 second. I want to look something up for you. Okay.
You know, the funny thing too is as science asks you to question.
Yeah.
Where they're telling their people to blindly follow them, right? That's the crazy thing.
Correct. Exactly. They want you to just do what they say, da 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 da, whatever. Right. So let me just be clear to the person in the chat. I'm gonna give you the information. The primary developers that received direct R&D and clinical trial funding include Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Novavax, and Sanofi GSK, which is GlaxoSmithKline. Pfizer BioNTech did not. They did not. The government contracted massive advance purchase agreements for millions of the doses once it was proven. So I want to be very clear that no, Pfizer did not. So, yeah. But the whole point, so let me ask you this. How many of you all, because I know some of you guys that are with me all the time on most days. Oh, I do absolutely get it, Kat, 100%. So how many of you all remember the testimony of the former CDC director, Susan Menarez, before Congress? How many of you all do you all remember her opening statement? And how many of you all know how long we have gone without a director in the CDC? We just got a new director of the CDC. Did you guys know that we just got a director of the CDC, even though we're not supposed to leave them without a director? Okay, so listen, I'm going to. This is her open testimony, and it's worth playing because I want you all to write 16 months without a damn director of the CDC, which is fucking crazy. But y'all gonna let these people play with your life. It's wild to me. So I want you all to listen. So this is the CDC director and former chief medical officer, and they testified 10 months ago. So just listen.
Is your microphone on?
Is this on? I believe it's on. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Close to the mic.
Thank you. Okay. Chairman Cassidy, Ranking Member Sanders, and distinguished members.
Hold on before I get into this. Dano, this is your one and only opportunity to join my panel before I mute you. And the reason why is because you're just here to be distraction. So you can either get on this panel or I'm just gonna get rid of you. Because this testimony is too important for you to be a fucking distraction. So come on, seize the day. Join the panel. You can do it. I believe in you. Be brave.
I'll step down so he can join. Will you let me down, please?
Yeah, I got you. Thank you, Lucy. Yeah. Come on, Dano. This is your time. Appreciate you, Black. No, you was doing all that talking. This is your opportunity to be seen and to be heard. You matter. Are you ready? No? Okay. So mods, I don't give a shit what he types. The next time he types something, just go ahead and mute his ass because he didn't join the panel. Okay? I got no time. None. All right. Here we go. Here's her testimony.
Of this committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you again. My name is Susan Monares, and I am a microbiologist and immunologist. Exactly 12 weeks ago, in this same room, I testified that if confirmed, I would lead the CDC to restore public trust, modernize public health infrastructure, and strengthen the agency's core mission of protecting Americans from infectious diseases and emerging threats. I was honored to be nominated by President Trump and confirmed with the Senate's support. Secretary Kennedy himself swore me in on July 31st, calling me a public health expert with unimpeachable scientific credentials. My tenure as CDC director lasted 29 days. Since my removal, several explanations have been offered: that I told the secretary I would resign, that I was not aligned with the administration priorities, or that I was untrustworthy. None of those reflect what actually happened. I will share the details, but I want to be clear. Today should not be about me. Today should be about the future of trust in public health. The events leading to my dismissal began weeks before August 25th. On August 2nd, I learned from media reports that experts serving as liaison representatives to the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the ACIP, including those from major medical societies, had been removed from its working groups. The following week, I heard concerns that the ACIP might alter childhood vaccine schedule at its September meeting, potentially without credible supporting data. On August 8th, a gunman, driven by vaccine distrust, fired 180 rounds into CDC headquarters in Atlanta, killing Officer David Rose. In the days after the attack, I focused on security, staff, and ensuring the CDC could continue its mission. On August 19th, I received a directive from the Secretary's office that I now required prior approval from my political staff for CDC policy and personnel decisions.
Listen to this. She needed approval from political staff. So I want to make a point right here so that everybody connects them too. So in our government, we have two different types of employees. We have the people that are referred to as careers, and then we have politicals. And political are people that were appointed and hired within an administration, and their position is only good while that administration is there. Okay? So this is literally the director of the CDC saying she needs somebody else's approval for some shit. And the people whose approval she needs are not career professionals, not other science people, not other medical people, but political people. Listen.
On August 19th, I received a directive from the Secretary's office that I now required prior approval from my political staff for CDC policy and personnel decisions. On August 21st, I was told to return to Washington from Atlanta immediately, which would have meant missing Officer Rose's memorial, something I was not willing to do. When I did return, I was concerned about my ability to continue to lead the CDC while preserving evidence-based decision-making. Commitments I had made to this committee during my confirmation hearing. On the morning of August 25th, Secretary Kennedy demanded two things of me that were inconsistent with my oath of office and the ethics required of a public official. He directed me to commit in advance to approving every ACIP recommendation, regardless of the scientific evidence.
So does everybody know what ACIP is? Let me look at the full name, but the ACIP is the committee. It's the group that tells you like what the vaccination schedules should be, what the recommendations are. So let me give you the official name for it. Hold on. It's called the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. So RFK Jr. is telling her that she has to commit in advance to agreeing with whatever they tell her it should be. Their recommendations should be, regardless of the science behind it or the medicine behind it.
And people have to remember they got rid of the board that was actually there, that was competent professionals.
Correct.
That is not the current board.
Correct. So here we go.
The IP recommendation, regardless of the scientific evidence. He also directed me to dismiss career officials responsible for vaccine policy without cause. He said if I was unwilling to do both, I should resign. I responded that I could not pre-approve recommendations without reviewing the evidence, and I had no basis to fire scientific experts. He told me he had already spoken with the White House several times about having me removed. For 3 decades, I have worked at the intersection of public health, science, and technology innovation, always challenging the status quo and welcoming the changes that come from research and discovery. Even under pressure, I could not replace evidence with ideology or compromise my integrity.
Dr. Mornaz, you're almost out of time. I'll be generous, but if you could speed up just a little.
Vaccine policy must be guided by credible data, not predetermined outcomes. As I wrote in my September 4th Wall Street Journal op-ed, I agree with President Trump. We should not hesitate to ask for proof about our vaccines. And I also agree with his most recent comments that vaccines are not controversial because they work. Demanding evidence is exactly what I was doing when I insisted CDC recommendations be based on credible science. I was never misaligned with the administration priorities. The goals Secretary Kennedy recently cited publicly, protecting the public from threats, building infrastructure, modernizing systems, investing in the workforce, and enhancing scientific rigor were the same priorities I articulated at my confirmation hearing and began advancing during my short tenure. I remain supportive of those priorities. The question is whether they can be achieved without the expertise required at CDC.
Hey Marcus, what's one thing you'd never hire anyone to do in your home again?
That's an easy one. Never, ever hire a pressure washer. And this is coming from a guy who used to run a pressure washing business. Let me show you why.
Regarding trustworthiness, I cannot define that word for Secretary Kennedy. I made commitments to this committee that I would lead with integrity, transparency, purpose, and work with Congress to maximize health outcomes and protect the American people. Secretary Kennedy told me he could not trust me. I had refused to commit to approving vaccine recommendations without evidence, fire career officials without cause, or resign, and I had shared my concerns with this committee. I told the secretary that if he believed he could not trust me, he could fire me. The next day, I was told I still had my job, but the secretary's expectations remained: approval of ACIP recommendations and dismissal of career scientists. I would not commit to that, and I believe it is the true reason I was fired. Tomorrow, the reconstituted ACIP will meet. Its composition has already raised concerns from the medical community. Based on what I observed during my tenure, there is a real risk that recommendations could be made restricting access to vaccines for children and others in need without rigorous scientific review. With no permanent CDC director in place, those recommendations could be adopted. The stakes are not theoretical. We already have seen the largest measles outbreak in more than 30 years, which claimed the lives of 2 children. If vaccine protections are weakened, preventable diseases will return. I was fired for holding the line on scientific integrity, but that line does not disappear with me. It now runs through every parent deciding whether to vaccinate a child, every physician counseling a patient, and every American who demands accountability. I want to end where I began with my confirmation hearing. I spoke then about the value of hard work, paying my own way through college, and my lifelong dedication to science and public health. On August 25th, I could have stayed silent, agreed to the demands, and no one would have known. What the public would have seen were scientists dismissed without cause and vaccine protections quietly eroded, all under the authority of a Senate-confirmed director with unimpeachable credentials. I could have kept the office, the title, but I would have lost the one thing that cannot be replaced: my integrity. Some may question my motives or mischaracterize my words. That is part of public life, but I am not here as a politician. I'm here as a scientist, a public servant, and a parent committed to protecting the health of future generations. The question before us is whether we will keep faith with our children and grandchildren, ensuring they remain safe from the diseases we fought so hard to defeat: polio, measles, diphtheria, whooping cough, and many others. Undoing that progress would not only be reckless, it would betray every family that trusts us to protect their health. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you.
So that was her opening statement. Now, if you remember, the rest of this testimony, it was like an hour and a half, something like that. 2 hours long. But there was also another medical director there. Do you all remember her? Hairbet. Do you all remember her? Oh, I missed the gift. Darn. Sorry. Thanks. Appreciate it. Whatever it was. So the other physician that spoke also testified. Her name was Deborah Oury. Hold on. I want to play her clip for you because it's really important. All right, so listen to this. It's crazy to be looking back at these now. Like, I remember when we watched them when it happened, right? But to be like, I'm reading their words again right now, and it's saddening. Like, it's really sad to see all the things that they were trying to prevent a year ago being here and in our face right now, with almost 2,500 cases of the measles across the country, with children being hospitalized because of measles, with so much harm being done in the community. It's just astounding. So I want to play, and I'm not sure which one of these, because there's quite a few. But
rubber stamps, supporting policies not based in science, and putting American lives at risk. Secretary Kennedy censored CDC science, politicized its processes, and stripped leaders of independence. I could not, in good conscience, remain under those conditions. America's progress in health is one of the greatest success stories in history. A century and a half ago, life expectancy hovered around 39 years. Today, it is nearly double that. And we got there through vaccinations, through safer food and water, through smoking cessation, and through the quiet, steady work of public health in every state and county across the country. There is certainly still work to be done to improve the health of our nation. But when we erode the institutions and processes that deliver evidence-based interventions to detect, prevent, and respond to health challenges, as Secretary Kennedy is doing, we trade proven gains for avoidable harm. We know vaccines save lives, yet all 17 voting members of ACIP, the committee that sets vaccine recommendations, were replaced with critics. Flu campaigns were halted despite 270 pediatric flu deaths last season, the highest non-pandemic total ever, with 90% of...
I want to stop for just a second, and I need that number to sit. I'm getting emotional. I'm going to stop for a second because I want you to hear that number again. I want you all to hear the number of children that she just said died. Just listen.
Vaccine recommendations were replaced with critics. Flu campaigns were halted despite 270 pediatric flu deaths last season, the highest non-pandemic total ever, with 90% of those children being under or unvaccinated. We also...
270 pediatric flu deaths last year, with 90% of them being either unvaccinated or under-vaccinated. And in spite of that, despite those numbers, they halted flu campaigns. Do not tell me that this is an administration that gives a fuck about our children. Do not tell me that this is an administration that is all about getting us healthy again and protecting our kids and all of that. I know. And I'm going to let her say it one more time because holy shit.
Flu campaigns were halted despite 270 pediatric flu deaths last season, the highest non-pandemic total ever, with 90% of those children being under or unvaccinated. We also saw the highest number of measles cases in 30 years, with 2 children dying.
It was 3.
Instead of promoting vaccines, the Secretary spread misinformation and promoted unproven treatments. CDC's labs and data systems are our nation's first line of defense against pandemics and biothreats. But those defenses are being weakened. Under the Secretary, global flu sample submissions have dropped by 60% and COVID samples by 70%, leaving us with far less visibility into what's coming. At the same time, moving experts.
So what she's saying there is we would typically get global samples of COVID and things like that are appearing other places so that CDC would have that information and we could see what it's mutating into. What is it? How is it progressing? How is it changing? What's happening over there? So that we get advanced, like we could actually try to do something in advance. And she's saying now those samples were reduced by 60 and 70%. So we cannot see what's coming. We do not know what's coming.
On birth defects and chronic disease out of CDC will fragment our response capacity. We learned during Zika and more recently with Oropouche that reproductive health expertise was essential in these complex infectious diseases causing birth defects. Due to the Secretary's actions, our nation is on track to see drastic increases in preventable diseases and declines in health. Trust and transparency have been broken. Here again, the problem is not too much science, but too little. I first learned that the Secretary had changed our CDC COVID vaccine guidance on an ex-social media post.
Stop. Stop it. Stop it. When the medical directors and the CDC officials are learning about changes to their own policies on fucking social media. This is what happens when you have folks that are running the government like it's a frat house and some reality TV show. And I just wonder how many Americans have never seen this? How many Americans do not know that this is the case?
Is not too much science, but too little. I first learned that the Secretary had changed our CDC COVID vaccine guidance on an ex-social media post. CDC scientists have still not seen the scientific data or justification for this change. That is not gold standard science. The Secretary's office ordered the removal from our website of the CDC scientific document on thimerosal, an additive to vaccines that science has shown is not linked to autism, while allowing an unvetted presentation on thimerosal to happen at ACIP, containing scientific assertions that were not assessed for data quality and bias. That kind of last-minute alteration undermines confidence in the deliberations that follow and is certainly not radical transparency. While at CDC, I worked with thousands of the hardest working, dedicated people I know who come to work every day to help all Americans live safer, healthier lives. My goal today is to provide real examples of the damage CDC is experiencing and to offer constructive steps squarely within Congress's responsibilities. I look forward to your questions.
It's absolutely wild to me that people don't, I guess, see where we are, understand what's facing us. So something is happening to the chat where I'm not able to see everything. So listen, there's nothing to be concerned about in terms of things being added to the vaccines. That's just not a thing. Okay. And I don't know where it went. Like, your comment went away. I want to be able to answer your comment again, but it went away for some reason. Let me see if I put it back over here, if I'm going to be able to see it. Yes, now I can see it and then it went away again. How weird is that? Yeah. So the long and short of it, Judy, is there's nothing for you to be afraid of. All right. There's a reason that that these scientists and these medical experts have done the work that they've done. Hey, facts, folks. Appreciate you guys for popping in. So, of course, we are talking about the executive order from yesterday. Me, Ray. Hey, Steve. And we've also been playing back. So, Steve, you probably remember these and probably shared them when they happened. But I felt like, given the executive order that he did yesterday, playing the clips from when the CDC director was fired previously and the other chief medical officer when she resigned. And if you remember their testimony before Congress in August and in September of last year, I'm playing some clips of those again because it's so relevant to where they warned us that we were going, right? Black, I'm coming to you in just a second. Melly, you as well. And it, I'm not sure. Like, usually, like, I want to finish at a point, but I don't really know. All I know is that more and more people need to be aware of just how destructive and gutted CDC is. And the executive order is this one. So he did an executive order yesterday to space out childhood vaccinations, which goes against all of the data, all of the science, all of the evidence. I read for everybody, the American Academy of Pediatrics put out a statement about the executive order. And here's what their statement is. Quote, today's executive order on vaccines is not only disheartening, but dangerous. Instead of ensuring every family can access life-saving vaccines for measles, influenza, RSV, and more, federal leaders are once again spreading misleading claims. That is from Dr. Andrew Racine. He is the president of the American Academy of Pediatrics on today's executive order on vaccines. So I follow them on Facebook. I highly recommend that you follow them across the socials. They give really great information and posts. I share them as much as I can so that people know. But I really felt like this was something that we should talk about. So when I bring you up to the panel, put yourself on mute until I get to you, please. And then we'll go from there. So for those of you guys that are coming in from Faxes Live, how many of you all had not heard the testimony of the fired CDC director and the chief medical officer of the CDC that resigned last year? If you did not watch any of their congressional testimony, can you put a 1 in the chat for me? Okay. Appreciate you, facts, folks. So do you know what is so alarming for me when I see the ones coming from you all? You all are people that are engaged in this. Like, you're active, you're engaged, you are politically in tune. And what really makes my chest just kind of like tie up in knots is if you haven't seen it, what are the chances that average, just like regular folks have seen it? You know what I mean? Like, if you haven't seen it, because you are in tune, you are politically inclined, you know what's going on. And if you didn't watch it, right? I know I played them a couple of times on my live, but if you didn't know it, then what are the chances that the other people that are heading to the polls, what are the chances that the other people that are voting, what are the chances that the other parents who are considering what they should or shouldn't do for their children have no fucking clue what happened? So do you, and so can I point out some commonalities? Do you all remember the testimony of Ryan Schwank, the ICE lawyer? And do you remember when he said that he was as soon as he showed up, he was given this secretive order that he was supposed to approve all of these things like sight unseen and not teach certain parts of the curriculum. And do you remember that, where he was just supposed to blindly agree to shit and sign this document? Do y'all remember? And it's the very same thing that she just said, right? So the CDC director that was fired, she said the same thing. She said she was asked directly by RFK Jr. to agree in advance to support any vaccine recommendation from the ACIP, regardless of its scientific or medical evidence or backing, and sight unseen. She would just agree in advance. And so listen, if that's the position for the CDC, and if that's the position for ICE, what other department is this happening in, where they've brought in leadership and said you must be blindly loyal to whatever this particular agenda is that we have? And what are the repercussions of that? And the thing that makes me incredibly angry as I sit here right now, and I don't get angry often, but I am sitting in all of my righteous anger right now, because I listen to her, and remember, the head of this committee is Cassidy, who is a doctor, right? Is a doctor. And I'm listening to the former director of the CDC talk physician to physician, peer to peer, with an understanding. So the language that she's using, the words that she's talking about, the science, the evidence, the medicine, the practice, the track record, right? He knows the significance of every bit of it. And we are here a year later, and he still is capitulating, and he is still just bending over for this fucking administration, confirming people that he knows has no business being in office. He knows it. He knew it when he confirmed RFK Jr. He knew it when he confirmed Todd Blanche, and that's why he cried while he was doing it. And my thing is, suck it up, Buttercup. I don't want to see your fucking tears. I want you to grab what's left of your integrity and do the right thing for the country. And that is so glaringly absent from the folks that are in Congress. This is why, with every fiber of my being, there must be a progressive majority in the Senate. Because as long as there is a Senate that does not stay separate and equal from this administration, the American people will suffer, and we will be fucked. Not hyperbole, not exaggeration. It's just a fact from where we are right now. Do you all remember when Cassidy specifically was asking about the vaccine, for the vitamin K vaccine? Do y'all remember when he was specifically asking, because he said, I'm a liver doctor. I know what this looks like. I know what these children will experience. I know the harm that will be done. You know what I would like to see now? I would like to see a report for all of the 2,300 cases of measles that we had last year, and the damn near 2,500 cases that we have this year. I would like to see a report that tells me how many of those children now have residual effects. How many of them lost any part of their sight? How many of them have any deafness? How many of them have any long-term lasting effects for some shit that could have been fucking prevented? Because what we know is that 93% of them were either unvaccinated or their status is unknown. And what's crazy is the 270 children that died from flu last year, guess what? 90% of them were also unvaccinated or undervaccinated. So you know what that tells me? That tells me it is unnecessary suffering on the parts of our children. And I want to know, what kind of parent are you that you will allow your child to suffer unnecessarily off the words of a dude that snorted his sugar booger off a fucking toilet and a failed real estate reality TV star? Because that is legitimately where we are. How did the words of these individuals become more significant, more important, more relevant to you than your pediatrician, than decades upon decades of science? Tessa, what do you mean you hope they respond to the EO from yesterday? Cassidy did. He put out a strongly worded fucking tweet. He did respond. He put out a strongly worded tweet. What else are you expecting them to do? This is a man who literally stood in front of the entire country and cried while he confirmed Todd Blanche, pretty much fucking us if we need the DOJ to hold the line. There is no world in which we have a Department of Justice that will hold the line and uphold the Constitution right now. It does not exist. And whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower has told this Congress exactly that. Do you all understand that we have had testimony from the CDC, from within the Department of Health and Human Services? We had a whistleblower from within the DOJ. We had a whistleblower from within the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. Do y'all realize that? What does that say? That in 18 months you've got whistleblowers and testimony from 3 of your major departments that run your country. And then you have a Congress that is doing absolutely nothing based on that testimony. We should all be angry. And we should all be angry at the ballot box and vote them right the fuck out. I want you to understand, they knew this was coming. And they watched it come. Good afternoon, Ronnie.
Oh, good afternoon, Dani. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You didn't mean to request that?
I was tapping.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for tapping. All right, appreciate you.
No, we appreciate.
Appreciate you. Right back at you. Okay, so there's another clip that I want. Give me a second because I want to play it for you. Give me a moment because there's a particular one that I need. I don't want just the 1 minute clip. So I'm going to play this clip. I'm not sure if this is the exact one that I want or not, but I'm going to keep looking for the one that I want as well. All right, here we go. I already did that one. Okay, that's the one that I want. Okay, hold on tight. Okay, here we go, guys. Exactly, Jeff.
Secretary Kennedy censored CDC science, politicized its processes, and stripped leaders of independence. I could not, in good conscience, remain under those conditions. America's progress in health is one of the greatest success stories in history.
Just listen to this one. Shit, this is not the one I wanted. That's what I was afraid of. Hold on. Shit. The one that I want, and I might not be able to lay my hands on it right this second, is maybe this will be. So listen to this. This is the clip that I wanted. Thank you. This is the clip that I wanted. So this is the office of the director for the CDC. Okay. And she is testifying that she was the last career, in other words, the last medical professional, the last scientist. Everybody else in the office of the director heading up the fucking CDC are political appointees. They are political people. They are not medical people. They are not science people. They are not the data people. They are political. So let me play it again for you.
I'm the last, or I was the last career left in the office of the director. I have no doubt that my role will be replaced by a political.
May I stop you there? You're the last career. So then are you saying that everyone that is remaining
in the
is
office of the director is a political? Yes.
Is a political. And so there is nobody then that is, there must be somebody that is providing that career science then.
A level down, we do have center directors, although 80% are now acting because they've been fired, resigned.
So listen to this. Listen to what she's saying. So in the office of the director, which is where all of the senior CDC leadership is, everyone a year ago was a political because she resigned. She was the last that was a career to give career science. A level down at the individual center levels, right? Because we have CDC centers at different places around the country. Those places had career professionals that were heading them. However, many of them were acting career. They were acting in their roles because the previous folks had been fired. Because remember, this administration had asked for them to blindly fire career CDC people. So they had. And so the people that were now on a center level were careers, but they were acting in those career capacities. And at the office of the director level, they were all politicals. And the person, in case I know you guys can't see it, you guys can. The person that is questioning her right now is Lisa Murkowski. So this is Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski that is asking these questions. And the difference, so when we talk about a political, that means that this is somebody that has been hired in a political role. And that means that their job is only as long as the current administration. They may not be hired on permanently. And they are there under a political role. They are not a career science professional. They are not a career medical professional, right? So Meerkat, they were absolutely blindly fucking fired. So yeah. So here's the thing. Since you don't work for the CDC and you were not the CDC directors that was asked to do it, why don't you, I don't know, shut the fuck up? Because they were. Because literally, that's the testimony. Yes, they were. So I'm going to let her finish. And here we go, okay? And you can hear Lisa Murkowski's, she's incredulous. She's like, wait, there must be somebody that's giving the science. There must be. Here we go. It's 1 minute and 6 seconds.
I'm the last, or I was the last career left in the office of the director. I have no doubt that my role will be replaced by a political.
May I stop you there? You're the last career. So then are you saying that everyone that is remaining
in the office of the director is a political? Yes.
Is a political. And so there is nobody then that is, there must be somebody that is providing that career science then.
A level down, we do have center directors, although 80% are now acting because they've been fired, resigned, or retired.
Dr. Menares, were you ever directed to not speak to career officials? Was that a directive that you received?
That was.
And when was that, when were you directed to not speak to career officials?
Yeah, that transpired over the course of August 25th in the engagements with Secretary Kennedy, and that I was directed to only work with the political appointees that he had put in place at CDC, and not to speak or work with the career scientists.
That is literally the former director of the CDC saying she was told by Secretary Kennedy not to work with career scientists, that she must only work with the political appointees. And I really want y'all to get that. Not only that, do you know what else? Do you know why Kennedy told her he couldn't trust her? Because she went to the committee. She went to the Senate Health Committee and she told them what her concerns were. And so he got mad at her because she went and told the committee and told her that he could no longer trust her. It's just so important, folks, that we have conversations in our communities and with our families and with our friends and get past the bullshit. We have to get past a conversation about the left and the right. Listen, I don't want to hear I don't want to hear anything about Anthony Fauci. You want to know why? Because he is not in the CDC. He doesn't have shit to do with this moment in time right now. Anthony Fauci is not the reason that 2,400, almost 2,500 people in this country have measles. He is not the reason that we've had, over 5,000 cases of measles in the last 18 months? He is not the reason. I don't want to hear it. It is so incredibly important that we get focused and that we make the people in our life have focus on the real issues. I done told you. I told you what was about to happen. Since you can shut the fuck up, I'll shut you up. Like, don't let the people in your life talk about healthcare and say things like the left and the right. Do not let the people in your life and in your circles of influence and your circle of connection, do not let them have conversations with you and use words like the Democrats did this and the Republicans do this and the radical liberals do this. Don't do that. it is doing a disservice to our children. This is not about Democrats and Republicans. This is not about left and right. This is literally about the lives of our children. And listen, folks, you are getting an executive order from an individual who has told you he believes in eugenics. He believes in super genes. He believes that the strongest genes will survive. And so if your children get sick and they don't survive, then they just weren't tough enough. They just weren't made of the right fucking stuff. So, I mean, it's just time to get very clear, especially on this. I really believe that this is a subject. This is a subject where you can cut through the noise. And one of the reasons why I believe that with every fiber of my being is because I have done it. Listen, y'all, when I tell you that if you talk about facts, if you remove your partisan language out of it, if you can level the conversation around the actual issues and the health and well-being of all of the people, you can get to a place that is a nonpartisan discussion where you can get people that don't agree with you on shit else to get on board with you when it comes to healthcare. Which video, Jan B? How do I know? How do I know? Because I'm a biracial Black woman who led a healthcare protest back home in Tennessee and got an entire community behind me. We collected almost 30,000 local signatures and took them to Congress, where people came outside, joined me on a public right-of-way 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 257 days straight. And they don't agree with me on damn near shit else. But they came to community forums. They put together community events. They absolutely did that. So what I'm telling you is that when it comes to these issues, there are certain issues that we can get past the partisan divide. Oh, I know, Sue, 100%. But we have to be able to do that. So here's the key to the conversations. Number one, remember just a little bit ago, I asked all of you all, how many of you all knew people in your life that were anti-vax? And a bunch of you all put ones, right? Can I see those numbers again? Because I followed up and I said, do you think that there's the possibility to provide a distinction and a separation in the conversation between the C19 vax and then all the other vaxes? And so many of you all said no. It was in August and September, right? So many of you all said no. So listen, if you go into every conversation believing that you cannot gain ground, you will not gain ground. I'm going to repeat that, okay? Every time you enter into a conversation believing that you cannot make ground, you will not make ground. So you have to be approaching this with nonpartisan language. Now, it is totally okay to be pointing out that this is coming from this administration, because it is. It is coming from this administration. And we have to get to the root of that and the root of why people are buying into it and believing it. I get, and so I'll just share, I'm kind of selfish. One of the reasons I'm ridiculously passionate about this is because if you all fuck around and don't do what you need to do for your kids, you put Bella at risk. And not just Bella, but Mila and Dominic, but definitely Bella. Those of us with children who are vulnerable, those of us whose children may not survive what your children would, right? This shit is personal. Thanks, Mirabelle. Yeah, she's 9 today. I think one of the other reasons I am so here for the science and the medicine is because I have seen the science and the medicine work miracles. And I'm not going to get into a debate. Oh, no, that was God. No, okay, I hear you. And even if it was God that made the science and the mirror and the medicine. You hear me? Even if it was, right? Do you know what it's like to have an infant that has a hole in her heart and who is also like, I don't know, a pound and some ounces, and have a neonatologist explain to you, hey, listen, there's a medicine that we can give, there's a treatment we can do that to help close the hole in the heart. However, it's really, really rough on the tummy and we need her to gain weight, so we're trying to hold off before we give her this thing, right? And then, okay, but so like, listen, we got to keep her on the oxygen, but the longer that we keep her on the oxygen, the more exposed her eyes are to the oxygen too early, which means she could get retinopathy, and then she might not be able to see, or she might go blind, or she might whatever, because there's a film that grows over the eyes. Like, if you've never experienced any of these things, you have no idea what it is like when you're going, okay, so tell me what the data says. Tell me what the science says. Tell me what's your gold standard practice. Yeah, Veronica, I will. I promise you, when it is your kiddo, when it is your grandkid, you will want fucking gold standard practices. You will want what is tried and true. You will want what science and the data has worked out, and you know for sure that it's your best chance. You will. You will want whatever the fucking science says will work. That's not the moment when you go out to the garden and cut the herb. That's the shit you do every day. You hear me? That's the shit you do every day. You do the fruits and the vegetables, and you do the water, and you do the exercise, and you do that, and you reduce your additives, and you get away from trans fats, and you do all of that every day. But when the rubber meets the road and you're facing a disease and an illness that can take your life, you want the fucking science and the medicine that is proven to work in that moment, and you want it now. And you want medical professionals that know what that is. And let me just say this, if you are a human being that right now, here's what I'm saying, and your response is not my problem, that's okay. You're just not who I'm meant to talk to, right? You're just someone that has decided, I desire to be a shitty person, and that's okay. It's just not for you. I'm not wasting my time, my breath, and my energy. I get today to celebrate a birthday largely in part because of science and medicine and evidence-based practices and gold standards. So I'm going to share this with you all before I go. So when Bella, when my daughter was in the hospital, so do you guys know what uterine restricted growth, y'all know what I'm trying to say? Uterine, what's it called? My brain is going blank. Anyway, so on the day that my daughter's in the hospital, it just happens to be that, yes, intrauterine growth restriction. Thank you, Katie. So it just so happened to be that at this time, this doctor had come down from Cincinnati, at the Children's Hospital, and so she was going to be the one to help with my daughter's surgery for the emergency delivery for Bella. And I wrote her a letter, and got her a little Starbucks gift card. And here's what I will never forget. When she came to me afterwards to let me know that everything went well, after I had gotten to lay my eyes on Bella for like literally maybe 10 seconds, like I'll never forget the nurse that I now know and love as Heather, right? I'll never forget her coming out of that OR and stopping and going, I'm looking for the maternal grandmother. And me running over, she was like, real quick, if you're going to do pics, take pics. And at that time, Bella was still bagged. She was still bagged and all the things. And they're like squeezing the thing to breathe for her. And she's literally this big. She's literally this big. And so I took a bunch of pictures, and then they wheeled her off to the NICU. And then the surgeon comes out, and she comes over to tell me that it went really well. And it went so well that there's the possibility that, my daughter she will be able to have another kid. Obviously we have Mila, and maybe even be able to do a VBAC or whatever. Right. And I remember taking her hands, the surgeon's hands. And I remember saying to her, I said to her, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you for staying your path, right? You didn't get distracted by keg parties and beer pong. You made it to the library when you were supposed to be at the library. Like this was your path in life. And you stayed on it for this day and this moment for my kid, for my grandkid, right? And I held her beautiful long fingers in my hand. And I told her, I said, I just want you to know that for whatever sacrifice you had in this moment, my heart is eternally grateful. I promise you, when it is your kid, when it is your grandkid, you will want the science. You will want the medicine. You will want the person that is the expert. You will not want failed real estate executives and fucking health and wellness gurus that take ice baths in blue jeans and fucking saunas. You will want medicine. You will want the data. You will want it. And every year, I think about it often, but every year on her birthday, I am reminded just how delicate it all is and how extremely grateful I am for science and for medicine and for healthcare, and why everyone deserves access to it. There are people who live in places that do not have access to the care that we got. And what's so really fucking sad is where I'm from, they can't even get the care that we got now. because of corporate greed, because of a medical monopoly, because of a fucking state legislature. They closed that NICU. We were in New York a few years ago visiting, and Bella got sick. And her fever was 104. And so, you know me, I went and I got on CMS's Hospital Compare website, and I was checking out all the stars for all the hospitals. And I took her to New York Presbyterian Hospital. And we walked in, and they were like, she was 5 at the time. And so they were like, 5-year-old, fever over 104, and they were moving. And I mean moving. So I'm giving her health history, and I'm doing all of those different things. And we saw the pediatric resident, and then we saw the pediatric attending. And I will never forget when the pediatric attending approached, and she said, "Did I hear this right? Do I have a little miracle sitting here?" And I said, "You do." And she said, "And she doesn't even have any retinopathy?" And I said, "No." And she said to Bella, do you know how incredibly blessed you are? When she went to the first eye doctor, I've got a picture of Bella standing in front of this glorious image from the back of her eye. And I've got her eye doctor showing her lines and saying, "See how like way out here your lines go, but they just get a tiny bit squiggly over here?" She was like, "That's okay." She was like, "They didn't get squiggly all in here, and that's why you can still see," and da 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 da. These are moments that this administration is making a mockery of. And shame on them. And shame on you parents for letting politics get in the way of healthcare. Y'all better stop this left and right bullshit and get serious about what we need for our parents and our children and our loved ones. You better stop playing political games like this shit is something you're watching on TV. This is real life. So real quick, before I go, because y'all done got me all kind of fucking emotional today. My daughter just put up her post too. Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys. My daughter put up her post today. This is what science will do. That is what science will do. You know? Y'all better stop letting them folks tell you you got to stop letting them play with your baby's lives. Yeah. Anyway. I hope and pray that none of you ever needs what we got. Both of them for 3 weeks. Yeah, she was in for 91 days. Your best friend's a NICU nurse. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, your NICU kid loves science, Bella too, and art. Art's her jam, as you know. Um, yeah, Cam, listen. I don't know what would make people joke about these types of things or dismiss these kind of things. Yours was there for a month. Grade 1 brain bleed, 3 pounds 9 ounces. Listen, it was the NICU that rallied those folks together. Your grandson was born at 26 weeks. Right. I'm just saying, folks. Do you? Yeah. You work for a maternal fetal medicine specialist. Listening to the science is incredibly important. If you all could see the chat over here, there's so many people that have been impacted. Wow, your other twin, your other one spent 365 days in the NICU. Sheesh, Jen. I don't know how you. Right, Corinne. It shouldn't have to become real when it just happens to you. Oh yeah, appreciate you, Pagel. 100%. This is true across the board. You know, um, here's what I want you all to think about the next time that you go to have a conversation about science and about vaccines or medicine. Okay. What I want you to do is instead of talking about the data, instead of talking about the CDC, I want you to talk about your children and your grandchildren. All the things that you just told me in the chat. I want you to talk to the people in your life about that. Not about something abstract, not about somebody sitting in an office, right? But I want you to talk to people about that because that is how you build connection. Okay? That is how we do it. And we have to do it. And you know what's interesting is I'm always surprised at how emotional I still get about that day. But there's nothing like it. It did. It did work for us, didn't it, Sherry? It did. It did. We hit grandkids and then we pushed in and had a conversation. It did, Sherry. It worked for you and I. And it works every time. Because it makes us see each other as real people. It makes us see each other. That's what it does. Listen, ain't nobody got time for your bot ass today. So let me tell you what I have to do because today I have to get the girls off the bus because my daughter is going to pick up a few things for Belly Boo for the party. We're gonna have like a little home party today, and then the birthday party is on Saturday. But today I went, and so we got some like the little miniature cupcakes and cookies and some little Cheez-It packets and Capri Suns for at school. And so today we'll do like a little family birthday, whatever, and then her party is going to be on Saturday. So I love y'all, mean it. Also, Project for the People meets Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, she'll get them Saturday, which she'll get them Saturday. And then there was something else I was going to tell you. Oh, I put new graphics in the Google Drive last night, folks. I put new graphics. You guys won't be able to see them. Well, hold on. I can show you. Hold on. So on this side of the world, give me a second. I'm going to show you all this real quick, folks. I uploaded like hundreds of graphics last night. Okay, so let me share over here. And then I'm going to share something with you guys real quick. Okay. So y'all know me. I want us to focus on the things that we can do, right? And to create and to build from a place of hope and possibility, rather than fear mongering and whatever, right? So let me show you this. So this is one of the new graphics. They are in every state's folders in different colors. There's one in yellow, there's one in orange, there's one in purple, and one in teal. And it says 3 things a majority in Congress, a progressive majority in Congress can do in 2027. And the first one is the ERA. The second one is budget reconciliation. The third is forestry. And so this is one example of the new graphics that are uploaded. Okay. And then, appreciate you, Trudy. And then I'll show you one more that I uploaded last night. If you ever wanted to like share, just like a quick example of like what Project for the People looks like and how we move things forward. My Google Drive is so mad at me. It was like, bitch, you uploaded way too much. But let me show you this one. This one is a shorter, smaller graphic that I'm going to show you. Appreciate you guys. I need it to connect real quick. It's mad at me because of all my tabs and everything together. Okay, so, and then this one. So see this one, it says the path forward, how we bridge the political divide and create a government that benefits the working class. And it's elections, and then it's community and government accountability. So this is also a new graphic that is in there. This one is under the national resources. The other one is under all the, it's in all the states. So I worked on these last night and got them uploaded. So they are in every state's folders. And for you guys over here, I'll show you this last one so that you can see it as well, but it's called the path forward. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what I'm going to do is continue this, the like things that we can do with a progressive majority. And there'll be a whole series. So there's a folder that it says like 3 things we can get done in spring of 2027. And then inside of that is a folder for the first graphic. And so then there will be more. And so we'll just kind of roll those out. So just wanted to kind of let you guys know. Yeah. So listen, if you, and they get, is that where they get into a raffle for something free, right, LaMonica? If you bring somebody to the Project for the People meeting that has never been there before, then your name will go in a hat for a drawing for free merch. Also, when you attend the Project for the People meeting on Thursday at 8 p.m., you will also get a special unique discount code that gets you $10 off of a purchase of $50 worth of merch. So all of that is there. So do y'all want to see real quick? Do y'all want to see my birthday post that I put up? Yeah, Butters, if they've never been before, yes. So let me show you. So this was my post that I put up for Belly today. What up, Lisa? And I'll show you. It says, happy birthday, Bella. It's incredible to think that it's been 9 years since I paced the halls of Holston Valley Medical Center awaiting news of your emergency arrival at just 26 weeks. You changed everything. Little did we know that your 91-day stay in the NICU would forge friendships and gratitude that would lead to a 257-day protest against the country's largest state-sanctioned medical monopoly. You've gone from weighing just over 1 pound with lungs that weren't ready to work, a hole in your heart, and eyes that they weren't sure would be able to see, to a healthy, intelligent, big-hearted girl thriving in life. My heart will always be grateful for the neonatologists, the NICU nurses, the respiratory therapists, the lab techs, and every member of the team who saw to your every need in the moments that we couldn't. Every child and family deserves the level of care that you received. It's important to fight for that. You showed me that in a way that is unmatched. In this 9th year of your miraculous life, may you continue to grow in your love of reading, art, music, and animals. May your voice and confidence become as strong as your heart, and may you know even more just how amazing you are. To the folks that I have tagged, which was a bunch of the staff, my heart is still as grateful for you today as it was 9 years ago. Thank you for your sacrifice and dedication. To Dr. PJ Powers, you may not be with us any longer for her to send you a birthday message, but you are still in our hearts and we are forever grateful for you. And so I took these this morning of her. So don't let these folks fuck up your kids. Don't let these folks fuck up your kids. Okay? All right. I'm out of here. Dr. PJ Powers is not with us anymore. He passed a couple of years ago. And literally right before he passed, both of the girls recorded him a message. And at that time he was in hospice, but his son was reading and playing messages for him. So Bella recorded a message for him and just basically said, thank you for saving my life and whatever. And she would give him updates and tell him what reading level she was on now. And then Mila sent him one that also said, thank you for saving my sister's life. And his son played them for him in hospice. And I think we sent them on a Thursday. And he passed, he actually passed that weekend on my birthday. Mm-hmm. Sure did. I'll never forget Dr. Powers. When we went to our first NICU reunion, they were wearing these ties with these cats at the bottom. And I've got Bella on my hip. She's like 9 months old, looking like she's a 6-month-old because she's so tiny. And she reached out for the cat on the tie. And he goes, oh, she can see the cat. She can see the cat. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, no, you don't understand. She can see the cat. That was the first time that he was pretty sure her eyes were going to be okay. And he was like, she can see the cat. Never forget. Never forget. Yeah. Anyway, love y'all, mean it. For real, for real. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah. Didn't mean to make you emotional, but I'm just saying. Yeah. When you get to live with and see, like, I know that we're all like miracles. Like, I know, right? I know she's just also she's like a super duper miracle. You know what I mean? She's like a super duper miracle. And it's something to get to watch her be miraculous every day, you know? And as much as I believe in my faith and our prayers and all the sage I burned and all the things, right? I don't I don't know. It don't matter, Veronica. It don't matter. She'll probably get a kick out of the live. But as much as I know in that, I also think about the machines and the beeps and the oxygen and the vitamins and the medicine that closed the hole in her heart and the medicine that helped her tummy and I think about the blood transfusions. I think about all the things. All of that is gold standard evidence-based science. And we should believe it, and we should trust it, and we should not let people politicize it, especially to the detriment of our children. Appreciate you, Kat. So that's an interesting question, Kat. Kat asked me, does she remember anything in the hospital? She said so one day. So she was talking one day, this was, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And she was talking about the alarms going off and everybody running in. Like, don't ask me how she, but she's talked about that before. And then I'll share this with you. Our NICU team, because I'm from the country, y'all. So, they talk like this where I'm from. And so they'll say, "Ooh, Miss Bella. Miss Bella was misbehaving today." That's what they would say. "Ooh, Miss Bella, she was something today. She was misbehaving." And I didn't think much about it at the time. But it was at her first NICU reunion that they're all standing around and they're passing around and they're talking and they're sharing stories. And one of the nurses says, "Shoo, you remember that day? You remember that day? I was scared to go home because I didn't know if she was going to be there when we got back. I was scared to go home because I didn't think she was still going to be there in the morning because she'd almost died." That misbehaving means she damn near died. Right? That's what misbehaving is. Misbehaving is you stop breathing, your oxygen level goes too low, and they're trying to kind of figure out how to keep you from dying. But I didn't like at the time when they would just go, "Who? Miss Bella, she was misbehaving today. She just was misbehaving," right? And that's how they would talk about it in the moment. But it was at the reunion when I found out, oh, misbehaving meant she almost died. Yeah. Give me science and medicine. Give me experts and data. I can pray and do all those things too. I'll take them both. Thank you very much. I'll take them both very much. So anyway, appreciate you guys for hitting 400,000 likes and for liking and sharing and all the things. The fact that you don't know flag etiquette is funny to me. The flag is turned upside down. That's why we have to vote red. The flag is turned upside down because you voted red, dumbass. That's literally how you're supposed to fly the flag when you're in distress. Anyway, love y'all, mean it. TikTok, LaRonica asked me to go live again once the girls get here. So I'll go live so that you guys can see Bella. And right now I'm going to get off here so I can get with her mama. Sorry, you guys. If you can tell, I don't have as much bandwidth today as I usually do, because I don't usually tell people to shut the fuck up, or like I don't usually. But yeah, I don't have the bandwidth for it today. So anyway, all right. Love y'all, mean it. I will see you all in just a little bit, just for Bella to be able to say hi. And then I will definitely see you all tomorrow on tomorrow's live. I may be out in these TikTok streets later. I don't know. That I definitely need Peacekeeper. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you all later. Okay? Peace.